There
There
we
you
go.
go.
Stand up, New York Giant fans. Baddog, we've won now 4 straight. We're in first place. We got 4 weeks to go. Going up against the Arizona Cardinals, your quarterback from Oklahoma, Kyler Murray. They've dropped 3 straight. They come in at 6-6. We're 5-7. Not just the division on the line. We're kind of also playing for the possibility of getting a wild card as well. Got to win as many as we possibly can. It could come down to us in Arizona. This is a huge game in that aspect as well. This would be a tiebreaker with the head-to-head. So a huge week coming up for the New York Giants. Obviously, Washington right on our heels. They go to San Francisco, and we're ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, this game is absolutely huge, as is every game here on out. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Arizona came into our building last year and did a number on us. Edmonds had a huge game. That obviously cannot happen. This defense is much different against the run. I can't see that happening. I also heard, I mean, I don't know what the status is of D-Hop, but he didn't practice today. He has a neck and a back strain. Something's going on with his neck and his back, so he did not practice. Obviously, I don't know what his status is for the game, but obviously if he can't play, that's an enormous loss for Arizona. The Giants, talked about this for weeks. You're going to beat Kyler Murray. You go right at him. You contain him in the pocket. You get those big hog mollies, put their hands up, make Kyler Murray throw over them, make him make quick decisions. Don't let Murray beat you with his feet. That guy can't. That guy is fast. He's quick. He's elusive. He's little, so he can kind of hide behind the lineman. But the Giants got to get pressure on him early and often, like they did Russell Wilson, because if you can mess up Russell Wilson, you can mess up any quarterback.
Yeah, 100%. We're going up against similar quarterbacks, no doubt about it. Let's just say hello to some of the people in the chat. What's going on? Get Stone Talk Sports. Dak Prescott in the chat. Nikki in the chat. Roger in the chat. John Talento in the chat. Super Sick in the chat. Deception. Afghanistan. Diehard Giants fan. Donovan, thank you for being here. Swaggatron. Shavamp, thank you for being here. Ben P. Brian. Krim. Swaggatron. Thank you to everybody for being here. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. John's in the chat. D-Man's in the chat. Spencer's in the chat. Courtney's in the chat. Thank you to everybody for being here. True Rapless, what's going on, my man? We got a big, big game coming up. And like you said, we kind of played a similar quarterback last week with Russell Wilson. Murray, I think, is a little bit more athletic. He's definitely more of a threat on, with the legs, even though he hasn't used the legs as much these last 3 weeks. I know he's got his shoulder injuries, a little bit banged up there. Maybe Kingsbury's trying to protect him a bit. Maybe they're not going for as many design run plays as they have been throughout the year. This is a team that averages 5 yards on the ground. That's really good, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact of Kyler Murray. I still don't think their offensive line is going to be that big of a deal for us. And their defense, quite frankly, doesn't scare me. Our offensive line's done a great job against better defenses this year. Seattle's defense isn't that good, but we were able to run on them. They had the 3rd best run defense in football. I see no reason why we can't continue to do that against this football team. Now, of course, a major storyline going in is going to be the availability of Daniel Jones. He didn't play last week. Colt McCoy stepped in, found a way to get the W. Jones did practice today, even though he was listed as limited. He did practice today with the first team. He was taking snaps from Nick Gates. I am leaning that Daniel Jones will probably play this week. It's not a foregone conclusion, but I'm definitely leaning that way, especially when you start to hear that he's taking reps with the first team, and that should have a huge impact in this football game.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is going to play. They was, and again, you never can really trust a beat writer, but they pretty much have. They came out early in the week, said he's expected to play. And again, it'll depend on Joe Judge. As I said in my video when they said he's expected to play, I don't want him playing at 80%. I want the entire playbook to be open. You can't have him out there and just Garrett saying, well, we're not going to run this play because of his hamstring. We're not going to run that play because of his hamstring. Don't take off, just kind of hang in the pocket. You can't take that away from Daniel Jones. If you can't play, you can't play. You don't want him to get hurt going forward. This team has a good chance to make the playoffs. You have to sit out a game. You have to sit out another game. That's just the way it is. I'd rather him be 100% healthy going forward than, 75%, 80%, and then just hurt his hamstring worse, and then he's out for the rest of the year. So that's going to be tough, but I think that he'll play. I don't see why he wouldn't. Like I said at the beginning of the week, they were talking about how he's expected to play. You make up a great point about Seattle. They were 3rd in the league against the run. We went for 190 yards on. Our offensive line has been just unbelievable. The improvement's unreal. This team is running over 100 yards every single week, and they did it with the deck stacked against them against Seattle. They knew that Colt McCoy's not going to be a threat to run. They know Colt McCoy's not Daniel Jones. They know he's not going to throw the ball 40 times. There was no threat of that. Colt McCoy did what he had to do. He did enough, and we ended up winning because of our defense. I think our defense can get pressure on Kyler Murray, and I think we can run the ball against them, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, listen, our offensive line's been night and day. Andrew Thomas been the leader of that. Didn't give up a pressure last week. I don't think he gave up a pressure the week before. And since they've made that coaching change, and even before that, since Joe Judge supposedly stepped in, he's had a lot to do with the resurgence of this football team. And you go back to last week. Now, the funny thing is the first half of that game, they couldn't run at all. We could not get any semblance of a ground game. And then the Giants went in there. Maybe they made some adjustments, whatever it was. But the thing that I loved, even though they were trailing, it wasn't a lot. That was 5-0. We were starting with the ball. We stayed committed to the ground game. That's something that Pat Shurmur hasn't done in the past. The Giants knew what their strength was, and they stuck with it. And you saw Gallman start to get the job done. He, of course, sprung that big 60-yard run. And that's kind of what's propelled us to where we are. And I think the New York Giants have to realize that that is the strength of this football team. 7 straight weeks now with over 100 yards on the ground. And if we're going to win this game against Arizona, it's going to be 8. Arizona's got a high-powered offense. Even if Hopkins does not play, you still have to be wary of Murray. We have to keep them off the field as much as possible. And that starts with the ground game, and that'll help out what I think is one of the best defenses in football. And we got to get to that the way they've played over the last 3 or 4 weeks. Max, man, thank you very much, man. Giants win 24-17. Let's go, G-Men. Yeah, I posted that on Twitter today, Max. Cardinals have only scored less than 20 points once all year. So this offense is legit. It's a good offense. There's no doubt about it. But if there's a team that could do it, it's the Giants. I mean, we held the Seahawks to 12, really 10 if you include the safety. The defense was fantastic. And if we could run and control the clock, there's no reason why we can't keep this team in check. Now, the weather report, who knows? I know that you told me on Instagram that it's supposed to be clear now.
Morning showers, 55 degrees.
Okay. Yeah, I saw 55 degrees. I did see potential for afternoon showers, but that was a couple of days ago. Who knows? We'll wait to see what it looks like as the game gets here. I'm hoping for showers. I want them to slow down that. I think we're a tougher football team. I think the bad weather would play to our favor.
Didn't last year, but this is a different team.
Completely different team. Completely different defense, completely different offensive line. But yeah, last year we couldn't stop their run at all. We all remember what Chase Edmonds did to us.
Yeah.
Dylan, man, thank you very much, man. Hop is always on the IR report. He will play. Dylan, I am going to anticipate that he will be playing in this football game. The other thing that I noticed, Baddog, and last year Arizona was actually really bad at it. They're number 1 in the league in red zone offense. They score over 75% of the time they enter the red zone. That's going to be a huge key in this game. Obviously, Hopkins has a lot to do probably with the growth in that area. But maybe the Giants got to be a little bit more aggressive in this game. Don't let them get in the red zone, because when they do, they've been cashing in more than anybody.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, the Giants defense has been great. And part of the Giants defense getting better, besides, getting acclimated to the playbook and Patrick Graham's scheming, is the fact that we have run the ball. The fact that we have either owned time possession or we're even. We're not getting blown out of time possession like we were at the beginning of the year. This is a completely different football team. Everybody wants to look at the Giants, say they're 5-7. It's night and day the way they play. Now, I know we haven't blown anybody out, but the fact of the matter is we play teams that on paper are supposed to be way better than us. We're going into Seattle with a backup quarterback. We're a 12-point dog. We win the game. So, obviously, we still ain't getting any credit. Arizona comes into our building. They're a 2.5-point favorite last I noticed. So nobody wants to give the Giants credit, and that's fine. The New York Giants always seem to play better when they're the underdog anyway. I was worried about, if this was Shurmur or a different coach, I'd be worried about an emotional letdown. It was a huge win. That's the biggest, like you said, that's the biggest win they've had maybe since the Super Bowl. It's been a long time since they've had a signature win like that. So, you might have a tendency for letdown, but I don't think Joe Judge lets them have a letdown. I think Joe Judge pushes them harder and says, look at what you're capable of. Look at what you're capable of beating them, then you're capable of beating anybody. And again, we've had these signature wins, Chris, and we had even signature losses. Like when we lost those 2 games, they're identical scores. You were at one of them. 38-35 to the Pats in 2007 and 38-35 to the Packers in 2011.
Yeah.
But those are the best teams in football. Giants prove that they can play with them, and I think that brims confidence. I think you're going to see a team brimming with confidence going into Arizona or going against Arizona, like you said, with a very mobile quarterback and a good quarterback. But I think that they know that they can hang with anybody. And I think that, like I said, winning builds culture. We were losing these games earlier in the year. They're finding a way to win, and the play continues to get better. Winning does a lot for your confidence. Confident football players much better than football players who are not confident.
Well, that's what good teams do. I mean, good teams find ways to win even when they're not playing their best game. The Giants gave a C minus effort against Cincinnati. They found a way to win. Even you could even argue against Seattle. They didn't give an A effort. They had, I mean, obviously the interception by McCoy, the special teams wasn't great, the block punt, but they found a way to win a football game. The defense held strong. They closed out another game, and that's what good teams do. At the beginning of the year, we were finding ways to lose games when we played really well. Now we're finding ways to win games. We're growing as a football team, and we'll see if we can continue it. I want to say, before I even read it, I want to say thank you to Nitro Freak, because Nitro Freak every week now is picking against the Giants, and every week they win. So before I even read it, Nitro Freak, I want to say thank you. I'm assuming once again you picked against the Giants, and I'm going to say thank you once again. Nitro Freak says Giants lose 27-17. Hashtag crashing back down to earth. Cheers. Guys, book it. If you're betting on the game, bet on the Giants. He's picked them every week to lose. We're going to win again. Thank you very much. You just instilled more confidence, Nitro Freak. I appreciate that.
Yeah, listen, he's just still upset because he made the video trying to respond to me. He looked like a damn fool because I was correct. We are the best team in the league. And you know, that seemed to upset him. That seemed to upset the apple cart a little bit. His team is crap. And I'm gonna tell you this, not just Nitro Freak, but all Eagle fans. I was in Lord Brunson's stream. They had a good stream. They had Philly 500, they had Philly Mike. They had a good stream going. And I'm just listening to them talking about trading Carson Wentz. Number one, you can't trade him. Okay, he carries almost a $50 million cap. But they were saying
nobody's taking Carson
you
Wentz.
can't trade him. But then one of the guys like, you restructure his contracts. I'm like, that's how you guys got in the situation you're in, because you kept restructuring contracts. The Philadelphia Eagles are going right down the road the New York Giants had. And I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to speak to Dave Gettleman, and then I'll let you get those. You look at the situation of Philadelphia Eagles. They got a quarterback getting $128 million. He's on the bench now. They benched the guy they just signed. And Carson Wentz is in his prime, man. He ain't 37. They got a bad offensive line, Chris. They got no wide receivers. They got aging veterans with terrible contracts. Does that sound like something that Dave Gettleman took over here in New York?
A matter of fact, it sounds worse, to be honest with you.
Because
I think the Eagles situation is even worse than what the Giants was when Gettleman took over.
So you see how bad the Giants were for years. Bad contracts, bad drafts equal bad football for years. You don't get out from underneath bad drafts year after year after year. Aguilar, Arcega-Whiteside, Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor. You do not get out from underneath this. And then you're giving Carson Wentz $128 million. How much is Fletcher Cox getting? Brandon Graham, Alshon Jeffrey. You are not a good football team. You are not a good franchise, and you will be bad for years to come. So look at the Giants and know that's where you're headed, where we were. And you can see us coming out of it now. So it's going to take you out of it.
I'm getting giddy thinking about Eagles.
It's true. It's true.
I'm with you. I say it all the time. I love it. Test fighters, man, thank you very much, man. Wait till we add weapons to this offense next year. Well, yeah, you're going to add Barkley back. Hopefully he's healthy. You're going to more than likely add a wide receiver, whether it's in the free agency or the draft, and you're going to have players on this team more accustomed to the scheme. The offense is only going to be much better next year. It is. It just is. So I'm completely with you on that. Andrew Thomas, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. Just want to make sure I didn't skip anybody. I did not. He says NFL Networks picks the top 10 defense, and the Giants are at 10, and Washington at number 4. I think they hating on the Giants. I think we are a better defense than Washington. What do you and Bad Dog think? Washington's got a good defense. I'm not going to discount their defense. They've definitely got a good defense. You know what? At the end of the day, Bad Dog, I don't care where they rank us, whether it's defense, offense, power rankings. I don't care. I really don't. In terms of our defense, the way it's played the last 4 weeks, I'll say this conclusively. The last 2 or 3 weeks, there's maybe 3 or 4 defenses better in the league. That's how well they've played as of late. And for the year, the defense has been very good anyway. But the last 2 weeks specifically, they've been unbelievable. Now, some people point to the Bengals, sure, but we only gave up 7 points defensively against them. And against Seattle, a team that's averaged 30 points, we only gave up 10. And that's without getting any help from our offense. Colt McCoy couldn't throw the ball. They had good field position throughout. On the road, and the Giants defense did a hell of a job. So, Andrew Thomas, I don't really care where they rank us. I can tell you this. Our defense has been winning us football games, and if Patrick Graham continues to dial up game plans that he's been, they're going to continue to win football games. So that's it, man. I don't really care where we rank. I think we're going to be winning football games with the defense we have.
To give my thought on that real quick, I don't think – I can see them saying Washington's better than us. I don't think there's 6 spots better than us, but I say this, and I say this about PFF, power rankings, whatever crap, whatever stupid analytical, sabermetric garbage you want to throw out there. I don't need PFF to give me a technical grade or see a power ranking to know how well my team's playing. Okay? I don't need that crap. I watch the game. I don't give a damn if the guy's hips are too low. You got to knock him down because the hips are too low. He pancaked the guy. That's how they grade this stuff on technical. I don't give a damn. I watched Nick Gates throw a dude in the ground. I don't care how technical that was. That was a beast of a block, and I love it. So let them rank us. Rankings mean nothing. They mean zero. That's just somebody's opinion. I mean, I can do a power rankings too. Who the hell cares?
The only rankings that matter, Baddog, are the standings.
Exactly. So, I don't care about the power rankings. Washington's got a good defense, though, man. Somebody wants to rate Washington's defense ahead of ours. I'm not going to argue. The Giants and Washington are very similar. They're winning games very similarly. Yeah, they got a good defense. Washington's playing well. Chris and I talked about this, that Washington, the Giants the division's going to flip-flop, and it's going to be Washington and the Giants fighting for it. We didn't think it'd be this year, but it's because it's a bad division. And I think that Washington fans and Giants fans probably figured we're about where we thought we'd be at 5-7. Didn't think that'd be good enough to win the division, but we definitely thought in 2021 that you'd see Washington and the Giants be at the top. And I think that'll be that way for a few years to come. They're young teams. They got good defense. They got good coaches. If Ron Rivera stays around, obviously he's battling cancer, but Washington's finding ways to win. Washington's getting confident. Washington's on our heels. So, Washington's got a good defense. And I like the defense a lot.
That's the future of this division. I completely agree with you. Washington and the Giants, in my opinion, we've been saying it since last year that it's going to happen sooner than later. Those two teams will be atop. We just didn't think it'd be this year. Right. Zach, man, thank you very much. He says, have you heard anything about Simmons and Hopkins? Hopkins did not practice today. I haven't heard anything else, Zach, to be honest with you. Simmons has been playing, and I actually think he's been playing better as of late. I haven't heard anything about him. I expect him to be out there. Mighty Mango, man, thank you very much, man. I think Big Blue is going to pull it out again. Go Big Blue. Mighty Mango, I've been talking about this game now for, 2 weeks, even before we beat Seattle, even before we won the game before that against Cincinnati. I thought we matched up well with Arizona. I'm even more confident going into this game, and I don't expect this team to have a let-up. I just don't. Joe Judge, this team has fought for him every step of the way. They've had several instances, I don't need to continue to go over them, where this team could have quit or put forth a lackluster effort. They go above and beyond each and every week. I think the New York Giants will come out prepared. I think they'll come out ready. Arizona's traveling. They're playing at 10 a.m. their time. That may play a little bit of a factor. Hopefully the weather gets involved. They're not as physical as we are, and that's how we win football games. I think we're going to be able to beat them in the trenches, much like we did Seattle. And if we could run the ball effectively, we don't turn the ball over, the Giants are going to win this football game.
Completely agree. You win the game in the trenches. Dave Gettleman handled the trenches. The Leonard Williams trade, the drafting of Dexter Lawrence, and then obviously revamping the offensive line. I love it. I say before, it makes me excited. It's old school Giants football to me. It's good defense and running the ball. It's not pretty. The 1990 Giants were not a pretty team at all. They won ugly. They won a Super Bowl. They're my favorite New York Giants team of all time. Somebody actually asked me today, and I mentioned this in one of my videos, but they said, would you rather have the 2016 Giants team or this one? I said, this one. All day, every day. I said, this team would beat the holy hell out of the 2016 Giants. Kill them.
Not even just on a one-year basis either. This team is building. That team, it was all put together by veterans. They had no youth on that team. Eli Manning was approaching the end of his career. This team is only starting to hit their stride. This team's only going to get better. The 2016 team, like you always say, beat up on a really soft schedule. The offense couldn't move the ball at all. Not that our offense has been great either, if we're being honest, but at least we have a ground game. We didn't even have that with that football team, and it definitely and we have a better head coach. I mean, Joe Judge, Ben McAdoo, are you kidding me? So that plays a factor as well. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. That's for damn sure.
John Peterson said, I'll just real quick, DJ has 9 touchdowns, Kyler has 32. Kyler Murray does not have 32 touchdowns.
I don't even know Murray's stats off the top of my head, so I don't know. But DJ actually only has 8 touchdowns, unless you're including running. I don't know how many he has running this year. I don't care about stats. People care too much about stats, by the way, Bad.
No, I told you it's a fantasy football generation.
It's not just a fantasy football. It's not just a fantasy football generation. It's a player generation. Yeah. I posted on Twitter, I want to see Andrew Thomas knock Isaiah Simmons on his ass, and I was surprised. There was a number of people that said you shouldn't root for that. You should hope Isaiah Simmons has a good game, but the New York Giants still win. I said, are you kidding me?
Why would I hope for that?
Are you kidding me? Or they said, why can't you just hope that Simmons has a good game, but the Giants don't? No. I want everybody on the Cardinals to have their worst game of their career. I don't care. I think a lot of people have become players fans nowadays. I think that is.
Listen, everybody knows I'm the biggest Kyler Murray fan you want to meet. I hope we kick the ever-loving piss out of that guy. I don't want him to have a good game. I hope he throws 3 interceptions and goes nowhere. I hope he gets sacked 8 times.
Yeah,
I don't want him to do anything against this team. After we're done, chewing him up and spitting him out, I'll go back to rooting for him. I have no hate for the Cardinals, but this week This is my team, man. My team's above everything. That's why I talk about trading Saquon Barkley. That's why 3 years ago I said we should trade Odell Beckham, because I don't give a damn how good you are. I don't care how special you are, how talented, how many big plays you have. I look at the team and say, we can win without him. We can win without Beckham. We can win without Barkley. I don't need this guy on my team. As much as I like those guys. But I always say, I'm about this. I'm not about the name on the back of the jersey. I'm a team guy. I'm not a player guy. I'll never be a player guy. Never. Yep. I love Lawrence Taylor to death, right? But if Lawrence Taylor was hurting the Giants at the end of his career, I'd be like, hey, you know what? LT, you're done. Retire. I wouldn't want to see LT play anywhere else, but kind of like Eli. But like Eli just, when he was done, I'm like, don't go to the Bears. We were talking about just retire. Don't play in another uniform. But yeah, I mean, I'm not a player. I want the Giants to win. I want what's best for the Giants. Always. Best for the Giants is kicking the living hell out of Kyler Murray.
Completely with you on that. Ian Paul says, Baddog, where's your lucky red hoodie at? It's been working
I wore it in the gym. You didn't see it.
There you go.
Instagram. I don't think it's a hood. It's a jacket. I don't know if it's red. It is red. There's red in it. I don't remember.
Yeah, Joe Judge starting to buy in. He's been wearing the red hoodie, man. Dire Giants fan, thank you so much, man. He says, I'm looking forward to Joe Judge and the crew. Media interviews couldn't stand Shermer and Mac shit. Reality, it's hard in Philly, huh? I love the torture that they're going through, and it's starting. P.S. I hope you keep Doug. I think we all hope they keep Doug, the way he's been calling games for them. But Dyer, man, thank you so much, man, for being such a great supporter, man. Gave me my Daniel Jones jersey. I always say thank you for that. Dylan Peterson, he says, do you guys think DJ will ever be better than Kyler? No. I'm going to give you the same answer I gave before. I don't care. I don't care. Are the Giants going to be better than Arizona? That's the question I have. And my answer to you there is yes, because I'd much rather have our head coach than theirs. Yeah, I would much rather have Joe Judge than Cliff Kingsbury. You hear a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans complaining about him. It's not a player league. It's a 53-man roster, bad dog.
It is. And then Kyler and DJ don't play defense. But I'm going to ask you a question. No, he won't be Kyler. But Kyler Murray's special. Kyler Murray's my dark horse MVP. I told you, I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. The year the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, I said the only quarterback I wanted was Kyler Murray. Trade up to get Kyler Murray. I want Kyler Murray. I'm the biggest Kyler Murray fan they're going to be. Not this week. Not this week. They can knock his damn head off for all I care. Not this week. You're going against my Giants, our Giants. I don't want him doing anything. I don't want Kyler Murray. Hey, I hope Kyler Murray throws for 348 yards and 4 touchdowns, but we win. No. I hope Kyler Murray throws 4 picks and looks terrible, and we kick the living hell out of him. That's what I hope happens.
That's what I think we all should
hope. That's what I hope happens.
Dr. Great, man, thank you very much, man. Who would win between 2016 OBJ and 2020 Bradbury? 2016 OBJ, granted, it was a limited offense. That wasn't his best year. His best year, I think, was the year before that. The way Bradbury's been playing, I mean, he just went up against the best wide receiver in football in DK Metcalf. The guy leads the league in everything. I think Bradbury would at least keep him in check. I don't think he'd get embarrassed. I'll say that.
No, I don't either. I think that'd be a good battle.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I to be completely honest, OBJ at the beginning of his career, I don't think there was a single corner that could guard him. Not one. And as good as Bradbury's been, OBJ in his prime, before all these injuries hit, before his
first 2 years or so, he was ridiculous. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I don't think Bradbury could have covered him one-on-one. No.
Yeah. No, his first two and a half years in the league, he was the best receiver in football.
Yeah.
Nitro Freak, man, thank you very much, man. Bad Dog, put your money where your mouth is.
I don't know how many times I've been on YouTube for the last 6 years, going back and forth. Nitro Freak. You know I don't bet with people on YouTube. I will never bet with people on YouTube. That's not what I do. I don't bet. If I bet with Vegas. You know why? I get odds. I always love when people on YouTube are like, "Oh, I'll bet you this team wins." Your team is a 9.5-point dog. Get the money line. I mean, why? Yeah. I always want people don't know how the hell to bet on YouTube. Why are you betting straight up? I'm not doing that. Then the hell would you? I'll go bet. Why would I bet somebody straight up for let's just say this, for the Giants beat Seattle last week? Somebody say, "I'll bet you the Seattle. How much you want to bet, man? You want to bet $50 Seattle beats him?" Well, are you going to give me the the whatever the money line was, the plus 190? You're going to give me almost 2 to 1 on my money? Well, no, I'm not going to give that. So why would I bet with you when I can bet with Vegas and get $190 for my $100 bet? Or get $95 for my $50 bet? Why would I just bet $50 straight up when I could get $95 from Vegas? People don't know how the hell to bet. But no, I don't bet with people on YouTube. I don't know you. I can't reach out and touch you. You know what I mean? Like this. Nothing like, come see, come saw or anything like that. But unless I actually can see you, I don't bet with you. It's that simple. I'm Italian. You're messing my money. So no. I don't bet on YouTube. That doesn't have. I've never bet on YouTube.
Yeah, not the best of ideas. I actually had an Eagles 01 guy come in here and challenge me to $100 bet. I would have paid up. He never did. I said the Eagles were going to lose, never paid up.
I'm not saying he wouldn't pay up. I have no doubt he would.
Oh, I'm sure he would.
I have no doubt he would. But I don't bet with people on you. I just don't do that. It's not me.
Loic Philibert, man, thank you very much, man. He says, I can't to get down from Montreal to New York to tailgate. I can't wait, I think he meant to say, to get down from Montreal to New York to tailgate with you fellas and watch Big Blue. Let's go. 9-7. Come on. Do you know, Baddog? I was thinking about this earlier. And Loic, yeah, we're definitely doing that next year if things are back to normal. And hopefully by then they are. I was thinking about this, Baddog, and I'm not predicting us to do this. If we were to run the table and win, at that point it would be 8 straight and finish 9-7. Joe Judge will have as many wins in his first year as Pat Shermer in his first 2 years combined. If we were to win our last 4 games. Not that I'm predicting that, not that I expect that, but I was thinking about that earlier today.
Well, listen, if he does do that, and again, it's not, it's not like it's impossible. It's not probable. If he does run the table, it was 9-7. Then there's the video I did about him being considered for Coach of the Year. I don't think anybody could tell me any differently.
I agree. If they go 9-7, he needs consideration. I agree.
I'm not saying he should win it, but I'm saying he should have consideration. I'm not even in the video. I wasn't saying that he should win it, but I'm saying somebody should consider him for that. The guy's done a hell of a job with a team that everybody. They're going to win 2 games. They're going to finish bottom of the division. They're going to be 3-13, 2-14. How many pundits said that?
I did a video on it. I forgot who said. It was a few. I did a video on that. There was a few guys that said 2 wins. Like guys that work for ESPN, guys that work for Fox Sports, 2, 3 wins. Brendan Marshall killed us too. There was a number of people that killed us before the year started. You're not really hearing them too much anymore, saying we're going to win 2.
I told you. Shannon Sharp actually gave us credit.
Yeah.
I gave him credit.
Yeah. Dylan Peterson, man, thank you very much. Should have worded it better. Kyler's 32 total touchdowns.
Listen, Dylan, there's no argument. Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. He'll always be a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. The guy was drafted first overall in the draft. He won the Heisman Trophy. The dude was drafted top 10 in baseball. Kyler Murray can play. Dude, you're not going to get an argument from me, but like Chris said, I don't give a damn about Kyler Murray versus Daniel Jones. Kyler Murray don't play Daniel Jones. Kyler Murray plays against our defense. Daniel Jones plays against your defense.
I got a question for you, Bando. Who's a better quarterback, Eli Manning or Brett Favre?
Well, I would say Brett Favre, statistically.
Okay. Who was a better quarterback, Eli Manning or Aaron Rodgers?
Well, Aaron Rodgers. Drew Brees.
Who's a better quarterback, Eli Manning or Tom Brady?
Tom Brady is better than anybody.
Eli beat all those quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl. It's not quarterback versus quarterback. It's team versus team.
Right. Yeah.
And I'll take the New York Giants team over the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, who is better, Eli Manning or Tony Romo? Some people will tell you Eli was better than Tony Romo, but Tony Romo is pretty damn good. Statistically
speaking, people would tell you Tony Romo.
At least Dan Marino, one of the most talented quarterbacks ever. You can give me Eli Manning's career over Dan Marino's.
Yeah, I'll take
the
2
I want the hardware, man. I don't give a damn about the stats. I want the hardware. I want the trophies.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I care about.
Alphabet. This might be a different alphabet. I don't think it's the same.
No, it's
Oh, it is. Yeah, he says, "Hey guys, sorry for the long absence. I just spent like 5 of the past 8 weeks in the hospital. I said consistently since last year the Leonard Williams acquisition was big. He's the heart of this defense. Well, first off, I hope you're okay.
Yes.
Thank you for popping in the stream, man. I really appreciate it, man. Hope you're doing well. Leonard Williams, we haven't talked about him yet. We really haven't talked about the defense enough yet. The defense last week, and then I'm going to get to a few more of these. The defense last week was." I mean, I'd have to think about it. It's the best defensive performance we've had in years when you factor in the opponent.
Since 2016.
It was that good, and Leonard Williams had more to do with it than anybody. The guy had 2.5 sacks. The guy's playing at a near all-pro level. He's going to get paid. He's been fantastic, and that trade by Dave Gettleman doesn't look so bad anymore, Baddog.
No, that was something that when it happened, I'm like, why are we doing that? Like, I didn't kill him, but I didn't understand it. But like I said, now I do. I do understand it. By the way, I remember you said that name is the Tad That Shouldn't Be. It's an H.P. Lovecraft reference, so I know that's the same alphabet.
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Same alphabets. But, this defense has been amazing. The last time I saw a defense performance like the one they had in Seattle was probably 2016 second game against Dallas when they completely shut them down and won the game 10-7. I haven't seen the defense before. Their defense was fantastic in that game against a high-powered offense, and same thing this week. And like you said, they didn't get much help in the first half from the offense outside of the one drive. Defense could have gave up a lot of points. The defense kept us in that damn game. We had a chance to win because of the defense.
They made Russell Wilson look like Colt McCoy.
They did. I'll say this, Chris. I say it all the time. Right? I know it's a passing league. I know it's a quarterback-driven league. I know that everything's set up for the offense. But I say it all the time. At the end of the day, you win in the trenches. It's running the ball defense. It wins games. The Giants have learned. They're over 100 yards every game on the ground. They're winning time possession, and their defense is getting off the field on third downs now. So it's turning into wins. So what you
That's how you win football.
Maybe not a couple of big plays down the field for like 80 yards.
Of
I mean,
course.
I wouldn't mind Daniel Jones rolling out. Don't get me wrong.
But in the end, that wins football games. Dirty, nasty, sloppy football wins. We saw the Tennessee Titans go to the championship game last year. We saw the Niners go to the Super Bowl with Garoppolo. They had the best running attack in football. Right. It wins. It wins football games.
Ryan Tannehill in the 2 wins did not have 100 yards passing in either game. I was the first time since I forgot who did it in the 70s that a quarterback won 2 playoff games in a row, not throwing for 100 yards in either game.
It wins football games. We don't have a team equipped to go out there and throw for 400 yards and win football games. Elu, man, thank you very much, man. During the Seahawks game, Bradbury got stiff armed by DK, and the announcer was freaking out as he fondled the Seahawks, and he still got tackled. What's so cool, Elu? I don't know why people are making a big deal about that. It's one individual play, and Judge talked about it. He basically said Bradbury did his job on that play. I don't know why that's become a big thing, Bad Dog.
If you stiff arm a guy and he don't tackle you, it's a big deal. Yeah. If you stiff arm a guy and he brings you down, who the hell gives a damn?
Yeah.
Who cares? Stiff arm works if you break the tackle. Stiff arm means nothing if you go down with the guy.
Right. Yeah, I don't get it.
You don't stiff arm. You see the size of him, for crying out loud? The dude's a damn freaking locomotive out there. But you know what? He didn't do a damn thing in that game. So he can take his stiff arm and he can shove it up his ass. Like that.
Max, man, thank you very much. He says, what is new min W's to win the division now? Minimum W's? We don't know, Max. It depends on Washington. If we win 8 games and Washington wins 9, we lose the division. We have to stay ahead of Washington. We control our destiny. We control our destiny because we have the tiebreaker with Washington, but we have to stay a game ahead of Washington just for obvious reasons. Test fighters, man, thank you very much, man. How many Pro Bowlers do you think we have? I think Gano and Dixon. At this point, I think you got to say Bradbury.
Definitely.
Leonard, yes, absolutely. Martinez has an outside chance, and it looks like what's his name's going to make it? Logan Ryan's going to make it. He leads all players in voting, so at least 4, maybe 5 or 6. I mean,
they'll all be defensive. I can't see one. Unless Wayne Gallman has, 4 more games like he had against Seattle, then you could give Gallman some consideration. But other than that, nobody on the offense is making it.
Yeah. Dyer Giants fan says, I used to listen to the media heads, never do now. And sorry, I couldn't pull that up for you, Dyer. It's just behind on StreamYard. Listen, I always say it before I started on YouTube, Bad Dog, I didn't listen to anybody but the media heads, but ESPN. But I didn't realize that you could go to platforms like this to get your sports information or podcast or other things like that. And I think that's why more and more people are turning away from that. I think they want different opinions other than the talking heads on ESPN. So
I think they want fans' opinions. People in the media aren't fans. I don't know what they are anymore, but they're the damn media just trying to stir up crap all the time. We don't do that here. We just give you the pulse of our team. And that's the thing. You may have one or you might, like ESPN, for example, or BSPN, like they have to cover all 32 teams, just that group of people. If you want to go look at Arizona Cardinals, well, they might not get much media coverage on ESPN, but you can go on YouTube and find a bunch of really good Cardinals video makers, I'm sure, or Saints or Packers or
whatever.
Whatever you're looking for, you're going to find on YouTube. Some of the lesser known media, some of the smaller media markets, you can go and find who you're looking for on YouTube. So it makes sense. You're going to get specialized information from guys that love the teams.
Absolutely. Mighty Mango, thank you very much, man. The Giants are young and the best is yet to come. Yeah, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, Mighty Mango, man. This should only get better. We're ahead of schedule. I don't think any of us thought we thought, and I thought we were being optimistic. We thought 6 wins when the year started with the schedule that we had and everything we had to overcome in the offseason. We're ahead of schedule. This team next year is going to be ready to rock and roll. I expect you know what? We'll worry about that when next season comes, but we're going to have a more favorable schedule. We're going to have a more experienced team. So we should build. Right. Richard, man, thank you very much. Giants go on run, get hot now, 40-year fan. I think that's what he meant to say. Richard, hey, one game at a time, man. We got Arizona. I'm not thinking about the rest of our schedule right now, but it's possible. Cruz on. He says, we need to pay Williams and don't pay Barkley. Well, we're not paying Barkley for sure yet. I mean, he's got to prove he's healthy. He's got to prove, that's something that will come to, we'll get to that crossroads after next season if he has a great year. And I hope we have to come up with that decision because that means he plays great in 2021. But right now I'm not even thinking about that. As far as Williams goes, Williams has earned a contract. And we're going to pay him, in my opinion.
Yeah, Cruzon and I agree. We agree on something.
Yeah, well, Cruzon's always been outspoken about Barkley. And Cruzon says you build in the trend. I completely agree with that. You know that, Cruzon. I am a huge offensive line guy, as are you. I know that you were big for the offensive lineman this year. That's how you win football games on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Zeke, man, thank you very much, man. Let me get to that real quick. He says, there it is.
What he really said?
He says, if we pay Leonard Williams, we have to go all in and try to win next year. Legit wide receiver and edge rusher, no more baby steps. Well, here's the thing, Zeke. If you pay Leonard Williams, all right, I'm going to do videos of this in the offseason, and we're not going to know until the actual cap comes out. But let's just say the Giants make some changes to give themselves $50 million worth of wiggle room. If you pay Williams 17, which is about what he's going to command, you're only going to have $33 million. And then you're going to want to potentially bring back Dalvin Tomlinson, Logan Ryan, Wayne Gallman. I don't see how you'd have enough money, unless you're talking about draft, to bring in both the wide receiver and edge rusher in terms of experience. Maybe one, but probably very doubtful, especially if you bring back Dalvin Tomlinson and Ryan. Even if you bring back just Dalvin Tomlinson, I don't think you're going to have enough money to go out there and splurge for a wide receiver of a top-tier variety in free agency or an edge rusher. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, Zeke. But we're going to have to wait and see what they do in free agency. But I kind of agree with you. I've talked about that in the past, that I think the New York Giants have to try to accelerate the process this offseason, being that Daniel Jones is coming up near the end of his rookie contract. And I expect that they will. I think they'll be aggressive in the draft and maybe try to bring in an impact player in free agency if it's there in the budget. Obviously, you couldn't have predicted that the pandemic was going to happen and that the salary cap was going to dip. But that's for every football team. So we'll see how the New York Giants handle it this offseason.
Also, I mean, and I've been on spot, and I love Logan Ryan. He's had a great year. But that's what McKinney is drafted for. Logan Ryan's here because McKinney got hurt, and that's it. I don't want to pay a 30-year-old safety. I'll take my chance with Xavier McKinney. I'll put that money, like you said, to a wide receiver or a legitimate edge rusher. But I don't think you take both in free agency. You draft one, you sign another. You do not pay both of them. Your pass rusher. If you're paying Leonard Williams, you're paying.
We're not signing a premier edge rusher.
No, I
don't see it.
I would rather sign the edge rusher and draft the receiver. That's really how I'd rather do it.
If they keep Leo, I don't see them investing $20 million in an edge rusher.
No, it'd be hard to invest that much money in the defensive line. But Gettleman does love the defensive line. I mean, he does love the trenches. So, you still got Dexter Lawrence on his rookie contract. I don't know if B.J. Hill still has another year, I believe.
Another year,
So, I mean, Tomlinson is expendable, but, maybe Tomlinson and Dexter Lawrence play really well together, and you want to keep them together because they help one another out. So it'll be interesting to see what they do, but those needs that they have, they can definitely address in the draft. And I don't care if we're picking 9th or 21st. This wide receiver class is extremely deep. There's not a doubt in my mind they can get a good wide receiver, out of this class.
Yeah. Brett says, how do you feel about Yadam? Listen, since we brought him over here, I'm going to give him credit, man. The last 3 or 4 weeks, he's played well. And maybe some of that has to do with the fact, I think a lot of it has to do with Patrick Graham. But he was, I think, a former 2nd-round pick, if I'm not mistaken. He was a guy that a lot of people had some high hopes for. Obviously, the Giants liked him. I remember when we brought him in, people thought he fit the scheme well. He's more, he's a physical type corner. He's played well the last 3 or 4 weeks. I still think we need to address corner in the draft. Maybe it won't be in the first round. But I think we need to get younger there. I think we need talent at that position. But he's played well. Now, the question is, do you feel comfortable with him going forward?
Yep, agreed.
But he's played well. I'm not going to take anything away from him.
They both played well. I think they've gotten used to the playbook now.
Yeah, he's played well, man. Monster says, do you think Washington is legit?
Yep.
What do you consider legit? Do you consider legit in terms of being in contention with us? I would say yes. Do you mean legit in terms of a Super Bowl contender? I would say no. But yes, I think they are legit. I think it's us and them. I think it's a two-team race. And, I actually think Alex Smith fits that team very well. As crazy as some people that may sound, a 37-year-old or however old he is, Alex Smith, injury prone. But they're a team, and not long-term, I'm talking about just for this year, but they're a team that's built around the run game and the defense. Alex Smith is a guy that's not going to turn the football over. I think he fits that team well. I don't think they're going to make many mistakes, and I think the defense will keep them in football games. So, yeah, I think they're legit. I think they could easily win 7 or 8 games this year.
Listen, they just beat the 11-0 Steelers. So, obviously, they swept Dallas convincingly. They beat Philadelphia. I mean, those teams are good, but they beat them convincingly. We haven't beat anybody convincingly yet. Maybe the second game against the Eagles. That might have been our biggest win of the year. But, yeah, Washington is definitely a legitimate contender for the division. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They're built like we are. And the good thing is that we won the tiebreaker, that we were able to sweep them. So that certainly helps. But, yeah, I definitely think that they're legitimate. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime soon. I think we're going to push each other throughout. And I think that beating Pittsburgh may have actually helped us so that we don't have a letdown. Like, look at me, and we can't let up. These guys are right on our ass. So we got to get going.
I think that's a good way to look at it. I really do. And I had the same exact mindset that you did. As soon as it happened after the game, I thought about it. And I said, you know what? If we're going to go to the playoffs, let's not go in winning 1 out of our last 4. Right. If that helps push us and we get in hotter, we win 3 out of our last 4, we win the division that way. That's the way you want to go into the playoffs. If we go in at 6-10, winning 1 out of our last 4, we're not going to do any damage when we get there anyway. Right. We know better than anybody as Giants fans. You got to go in hot. And if we could win 3 out of these next 4, which would be 7 out of our last 8, that's the way you want to go in. You want to go hot. You want to go in playing your best football. So if that gives us that extra oomph to go out there and compete each and every week and try to win some of these games with the pressure, by all means. And I've talked about it now for weeks, Bad Dog. It's important, not even just to make the playoffs for this team, but to play in high-pressured situations, even if we miss the playoffs, to play in games where it means a lot. And now the Giants are going to have that because Washington's nipping right at our heels, and each and every week it's almost like a playoff game.
Yes, it is.
So this is great, in my opinion, for the growth of this New York Giants football team.
I completely agree. It is good for the character and growth of this team, learning to win in pressure-packed situations. So, yeah. Because the likelihood if they lose a couple games, they're not making the playoffs. But if they go 8-8, they have an outside shot with the extra playoff spot. But, you want to win the division. You want the home game. And it is. Every game's a playoff game. And you're playing really good competition. You're playing a bunch of playoff teams. Arizona's in the playoff race. Cleveland obviously is going to make the playoffs. Baltimore is probably going to make the playoffs. And then we finish with a really crappy Dallas team, which we should wipe the floor with. But we have to win at least 2 of our next 3 games. We win 2 of our next 3 games. I'm just banking that we're going to beat Dallas. We better beat them. So you go in, you win 3 of your next 4. That, like Chris said, that means we win 6 of our last 8. We go on 8-8. There's no reason to think that we can't win a playoff game first. We would match up with Seattle right now if we played in the playoffs.
When we get a time. By the way, I should have shouted out Bad Dog earlier. If you haven't done so, we're going to be live on Bad Dog's channel this week for the game. I know you guys have fun in those play-by-plays. It'll be over there. Going over there, check out his channel, subscribe. We'll be doing this show over there next week. Then we'll have the game back on mine. Going over there, check him out. We'll be there Sunday, so please check him out.
There's plays, baby. We're going to do it again.
Let's rock it. And the hoodie will be, the hoodie will be on. Alphabet, man. Alphabet, thank you very much. Says Peppers should also be,
I don't know how we forgot him.
Yeah, if I didn't mention him, I absolutely should have. My mistake. He's been the best player in this defense the last 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, Leonard, I got to say last week, probably Leo, but the last month, Peppers, he makes impact plays each and every game. He's all over the football field. He's been fantastic. Yes, I don't like to talk about Odell Beckham, but just him, we won the Odell Beckham trade. That's how well he's played these last 6 or 7 weeks. So he's been fantastic for this New York Giants football team. Gabriel, man, thank you very much, man. How long do we have Graham with rumors floating around about possible head coach opportunities for him? Gabriel, that's bound to happen. You know what? And, a lot of people are going to panic if we lose him. The first thing I'm going to say, Bad Dog, is last year, who was a defensive coordinator that was on a team that exceeded expectations, had a great year, and everybody was talking about him to get a head coaching job? A lot of Giants fans wanted him, never got one.
Wink Martindale.
Well, he's one of them. The other one, Robert Saleh or whatever from the San Francisco 49ers. He was the flavor of the month. Everybody said he was going to get a job, never did. No, that doesn't mean Patrick Graham won't. He very well may. He's done a great job with the New York Giants. But what I'll say to that is this. I'm not going to worry too much about that. You know why? Because the best coaching staffs, the best head coaches find ways to bring in better guys. You look at the Patriots. The Patriots lose coaches every year. And and I'm not saying that Judge is Belichick yet. I'm not saying that. You look at Flores with the Dolphins. We took his coaching staff. The Dolphins got better this year. They're 8-4. He's a smart guy. So is Judge. I know Judge has a backup plan. He's a smart enough guy to know that this is part of the business. I'm not too worried about it. Graham's done a great job, but I think they'll find somebody to take his place if he does get a head coaching opportunity.
I agree.
But we'll see. Simon, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Greater impact, Barkley or a top wide receiver with this line? Next year, I'm going to say a top wide receiver, and I love Barkley, but Barkley I don't think is going to be 100%. That's what everybody says. Barkley, they say, will probably take 2 years until he's back to complete form. Not to mention, we're seeing what Wayne Gallman's doing with this offensive line. I think having a wide receiver on the outside is only going to help that running game even more. Being able to, so they can't stack the box. And I think we need a wide receiver desperately. So I would say getting a top-tier wide receiver would be more impactful next year, Simon. You got anything to say on that, Baddog?
No, I agree. I think the wide receiver, I mean, because we're running them, 7 straight games over 100 yards with Gallman and Alfred Morris. So, yeah, I think with the big play wide receiver, if we actually had one, I can only imagine the running game would be absolutely that much better.
It would be crazy.
We'll have that guy.
Yeah.
We have Allen Robinson or Kenny Galladay, guy that can stretch the field, guy with a taller wide receiver, number one wide receiver. I think that it'd make Gallman even better. Yeah,
I'm completely with you. Automatic, man, thank you very much. He says, do you think another team is going to try and steal Patrick Graham next year? Yes. I think he's going to get interviews. That doesn't mean he's going to get a job. Not everybody interviews well. They may be looking for somebody more experienced. And you look at a lot of the guys who get jobs nowadays, Baddog, for head coaching positions, they're offensive-minded. A lot of them. I'm not saying all of them. A lot of them. Yep. So we'll see. He obviously has a great relationship with Judge. He obviously wanted to be here. He left the Dolphins, from what I understand. I don't think he got fired. He left the Dolphins to come here and coach with Judge. They have a great relationship, and he's a smart guy. And you know what? If Graham gets an opportunity, that's great. But you know what? I don't think he's just going to take a job to take it. I think if he gets the right offer, I think he'll take it. But we'll worry about it at the end of the year. We got 4 games to go, and if they lose him, they lose him. I think Joe Judge is smart enough to bring somebody in here to get the job done.
Yeah, I agree.
And Nick DeWick, man, thank you very much. I appreciate it. He says, last week's show was my favorite. Cop is so fun. Cop's the man. And I'm sure we'll be working with him in the future as well, Nick. Man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, buddy. Sahai, man, thank you very much. We need a coverage linebacker like Anthony Barr. I agree with that. That's definitely a weakness of this defense. We've talked about it for years. Since I've been on YouTube, 2 years. But they have a lot of guys. We still haven't gotten to see what they're going to do with Mckinney when he gets in this lineup. But I agree. We definitely could use a more versatile linebacker. We don't really have this on this team. Tate Crowder's done a really good job for the Giants, Mr. Irrelevant in that capacity. But I agree with you. I agree with that, Baddog. That's certainly something we could be looking at in the draft.
Yeah, I wanted him to draft Anthony Barr, even though I knew he was going to follow us. But I've always liked him. But yeah, coverage linebacker. I think that's a benefit. There's no doubt about that. But I'd rather address those other 2 spots more than anything. I think that's like our 4th biggest need: wide receiver, edge rusher, corner 2, and then I look for a coverage linebacker.
Alphabet, man, thank you so much, man. History shows you don't sign a number 1 wide receiver via free agency. It almost never works out unless the receiver is an all-time great like Rice or Moss. I'm gonna give you an example where it did work out, though. Plaxico Burress worked out pretty well. It does work in certain instances, but I agree with you. I mean, not just wide receiver. I think it's any position, Baddog. History shows that, usually you want to build through the draft.
Yeah. Well, that's what I said. If I'm taking those 2 spots, I want to sign the DN and draft the wide receiver. That's what I would want to do. That's the way I would approach it. I just think it's easier. You know what you're getting from a defensive end. And again, the wide receiver, defensive ends, it's easy. Go get the damn quarterback. It's not really that difficult. Wide receivers have to learn a whole new scheme. You got to hope that he has, some kind of cohesiveness with the quarterback. I mean, you don't know. You like, look at the Eagles. They brought in all these receivers, and none of them played well. Golden Tate's, for example, Golden Tate went over there. Not that Golden Tate's been good with us. Golden Tate was good with the Lions, but things have that you need a chemistry with your quarterback. And just because a good wide receiver comes here doesn't necessarily mean that's going to be there. I'd rather pay a guy that I know, hey, Just go sack that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and wide receiver, don't pay him a lot, and hopefully you get something like Slayton and DJ had last year.
Good point. James Carter, man, thank you very much, man. People hated that Dave gave picks for Leo instead of signing him, but would we have been able to sign Bradbury, Blake, Logan, and Gano if he did?
I mean, we're paying $16 million this year.
I'll say this, because we were able to franchise them, maybe they wouldn't have been able to sign all those guys to 3 or 4 3-year deals. Maybe they wouldn't have been willing to had they not been able to franchise Leo Williams. That's a good point he brings up, because maybe they wouldn't have wanted to commit to 3 or 4 multi-year contracts. I still think they probably could have, but it's a good point he brings up, something I never really thought about.
No, it is. Yeah, I never thought about it either, but I know we're still paying him a lot of money, so I don't know. I didn't hate it. I didn't get it. And the reason I didn't understand it is because we were a losing ball club.
Yeah.
That was what made me scratch my head. We were going nowhere. Like if we were like we are now, like if we're 5-7 and we're tied for the division lead and he did it, it would make complete sense.
Of course.
The fact that we were really bad, I'm like, why are we getting Leonard Williams and giving up draft capital when we're a bad team? Yeah. That was what made me think, like, what is he doing? But hey, he knows what the hell he's doing.
It worked out. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. We lost the draft pick, but I mean, Leonard Williams is our best player.
It's worth the draft pick.
Yeah, it was worth the draft pick. He's been great. Sox Arizona, man. Thank you very much, man. What's up, boys? Let's go get Kyler. Sox Arizona's got that great locks. His
name should be Locks Arizona. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much. And Clocks, man, he says, bro, you know how positive I've been, right? The winner Sunday will have to put up 30 plus. This is going to be a shootout, my man. Love you. Go blue. First off, Clocks is never positive. I love that he's starting to come around now.
Hey, what is this, a different Clocks?
Yeah, the last couple of weeks he's buying in. I'm going to tell you what, Clocks, I don't think we're going to. No, I disagree with you. As long as the Giants continue to control the clock the way they've been, I don't think we're going to need to score in the 30s to win. I could, if they're not able to do that, sure, but I think they're going to be able to run. I think they're going to be able to eat up the clock. Not to mention Kyler Murray hasn't been the same quarterback the last 3 weeks. He's playing with a hurt shoulder. We just held Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, who were just as good of an offense, to 12 points. So I don't think so, Bad Dog. I think low 20s we could win this game if we run the ball effectively.
Hit Kyler early and often. That's the best. Like, hit him early and often. He's faster than Russell Wilson. There's no doubt about that. But he's not the quarterback Russell Wilson is either. Get in his face, make him make difficult throws. He can turn the ball over. He has made some bad throws this year. Like I said, I love Kyler Murray, but not this week. Not this week, man. You're the enemy. I don't like the enemy. You mess with my team, nah, not happening. So I hope we kick the living hell out of him. Sack him 9 times.
Let's rock and roll.
I want him picking turf up out of his damn helmet every play.
MYG Mafia, man, thank you so much, man. He says, I would love to get Rashad Bateman. A lot of people like him, and obviously we need a wide receiver. He's been a guy a lot of people have talked about. But we're not thinking draft right now, Beto. We're thinking playoffs.
No, I know that's definitely a name. He's 6'4". I haven't watched a lot of Minnesota football this year. The Big Ten's been so many games being canceled, and Oklahoma, West Virginia been canceled 2 weeks in a row. Michigan backed out of Ohio State. Let's talk about Ohio State and Oklahoma playing. I would love that. Can we get that game, please? Can we get Oklahoma some damn competition? Can we get Ohio State some damn competition? I would love to see Oklahoma and Ohio State. But I haven't watched a lot of Minnesota this year. I've watched a lot of Ohio State. I watched Florida this year. I mean, there's another quarterback out there, Kyle Trask. He's having
a lot of people like him. A lot of people like him.
I don't think he'll be good in the NFL myself. He's a Florida quarterback. They stink. And he's no different. He's just having a good year. Same thing about Mac Jones. It's easy to be good when you got Devontae Smith. Not that who's the other guy? Jalen Waddle. He got hurt, but it's different. It's different. But I watch a lot of that stuff, and of course I watch the Big 12. But I haven't seen Rashad Bateman play this year. So
yeah, a lot of people are high on him though. Musab, man, I think he had like 200 yards this past week or something crazy.
Yeah,
Musab, man. Thank you so much, Musab, man. I appreciate it, man. Thoughts on trading Barkley this offseason? Can get great assets in return and get similar production at running back with a see. That's the thing. And this is we get asked this question every week. I don't think you could get great assets. Why? Let's think about this, man, dog. Why would a team give up great assets for a guy that's recovering from ACL surgery that everybody's saying will not be himself for another year after that? That's had 2 injuries in the last 2 years. He missed this entire season. He hasn't been great since his rookie year consistently. I don't think you'd get great assets in return.
No, I don't know.
I'm talking about specifically for this offseason.
It's tough. Yeah, this offseason will be difficult. You don't know what he's going to be when he comes back from the ACL. I guess people would have to do it on potential. Like, you're not getting a first-round pick. You're not getting the haul you got for Odell Beckham for Barkley at this point. Maybe you get 2 seconds. But, again, I think next year the Giants will take a look at and see what they really have with Saquon Barkley, with how good this line is this year. You see Gallman dominating. If Barkley can't go out there and have 100 yards every freaking game, and when Wayne Gallman's doing it or coming damn close, then they're going to say, we don't need him. If we can get this with a 4th-round pick in Wayne Gallman and pay Wayne Gallman a 20% or 30% of what we have to pay Barkley, and we can get picks for Barkley, they're going to move on from Barkley. And I've said this before, my biggest issue with Barkley, not only he getting the money, then you got Daniel Jones the year after. And if you're paying them both, it's about a fifth to a quarter of your cap space. You're paying 2 players. It's hard to win.
I understand that.
Players are getting a 25% of your cap.
I understand that, but I don't think they'll trade him this offseason.
No.
Asia.
They got.
Asia. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say.
Asia's the best. That's what you said.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Asia. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much for everything you always do for my channel. Thank you very much, Asia. She says, stand up, my sexy tan. And what's up, Baddog Talkin? Chris, you want to know what's crazy? I was watching the New York Giants channel, and Joe Judge was wearing an orange hoodie, red hoodie, like you are wearing now. So a couple of your subs of me was saying, I saw it, Asia. I went over there, and I actually commented. I saw it. I think he's copying me. I think he watched my YouTube channel, Asia. I think he's buying into it. He's buying into the red hoodie thing. That's the first thing that came to my head. I said, maybe he actually does. Because that's now the 3rd or 4th video I've seen him wearing that. Maybe he does watch and he's like, oh, you know what? If it's working, I'm going to wear one myself. Who knows?
Listen, I have no doubt that they watch.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Joe Judge in particular, but I have no doubt, there's NFL players and coaches that watch these videos.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're not a big fan of me.
But Asia, I don't know. I words can't express thank you. I don't even know what else to say. I'm like, oh, you've been incredibly generous. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I will say this. If you look at if I'm not mistaken, I was looking at the coats that they had on last week, and I'm pretty sure it's the one I had on the gym today, if I'm not mistaken.
The what?
The coat that I had on at the gym. I threw a picture of me on Instagram. I had all my Giants.
I didn't get a chance.
I had my Giants jacket, my hat, my Giants mask. I said, represent G-Men, leg day, all that stuff. But I'm pretty sure that the jacket I have, if I'm not mistaken, they wore something similar. I have to go back and look because I remember looking at it like, I got that freaking jacket. It's a starter jacket. I think it's the same. I could be wrong, but it's pretty damn similar. But I was looking at that. And I'm like, that looks like the jacket I have. They know, Chris.
They're buying in.
Now, one of them got a Victor Cruz jersey, then we know.
Simon, man, thank you very much, man. He says, agreed. Camp Abo, DJ, and Barkley will be traded. Eventually, he might be, Simon. That's very possible. I do not. I'd be surprised if it's this offseason, but eventually it might happen. I'm not.
Listen, I said that it could happen. I say it. Just remember that. I said Odell was getting traded a few times. He got traded. I said he's getting traded to Cleveland. He got traded to Cleveland. I said the Giants are the best team in this freaking division when we were 1-6. The best team in this division. Baddog's got psychic powers. You didn't know. When it's the most ridiculous takes you've heard, think there's no way what he's saying can be possible. That's when it's the most possible. So if Barkley's not here in a couple of years, remember who told you?
Couple of years I could see. Next year I can't. Before the year starts. Couple of years I could see. Alphabet, man. Thank you very much, man. Burris would have been in the Hall of Fame had he not shot himself. Not just Burris. A lot of guys on the Giants might have made the Hall of Fame had he not shot himself. Justin Tuck might have made the Hall of Fame. He would have had 3 Super Bowl rings. Some of the guys on that offensive line might have been in the Hall of Fame.
Is it David Deal or Chris Nee? One of them still pissed off. I remember reading an article. They were still pissed off about that because they said that cost them a dynasty.
Yeah, a lot of guys might have been in the Hall of Fame had Burris not shot himself. And it would have been a no doubt for Eli. Brandon Stone, man, thank you very much, man. I wonder if Joe Judge interviewed for Dallas. I don't think he did. If I remember correctly, and I'd have to go back and look, Brandon. I'm pretty sure Joe Judge interviewed for the Giants, and I think Mississippi State in college. Like, he was going to take that job if the Giants didn't offer him the job. I'm almost sure of that. I think there was only, I could be wrong, I think there was only one NFL job that he interviewed for, and that was the Giants. G-Man Sportsman, thank you very much. Hey, Chris and Baddog, how's your day been? Hanging out with the best people on YouTube, the best supporters on YouTube. I'm hanging out with Baddog. I'm talking Giants. It's going great.
Yep. Ask me tomorrow when it's Friday. Normally we do this on Friday, but this guy comes back tomorrow. So I'm doing the first preseason game. I have to. I'm not doing any other preseason games. I'll be here for the first game of the season, December 22nd. That I'll definitely be doing. It's a Tuesday night, so I got to worry about it interfering with the Giants. And I will say this: obviously, Laker Dog has a ton of Laker games. It's not interfering with the Giants. They'll never. The Giants. Oh, I said that last year. The Giants will always take precedence over the Lakers, always. So, don't ever worry about that.
Yeah, I think the Knicks play a preseason game tomorrow. I'm not going to call that, but I think the Knicks play a preseason game.
I'm only doing the first one because it's the first Laker game. Let's go get Laker Dog back. I'll let people know I'm back, and then the next three.
Lakers Clippers. I get it. I get it. Let's see. I think I got him, and I got one more. John Letourneau, the big Eagles fan in the chat, man. By the way, I know you remember. I will be doing a member stream tomorrow for about an hour, John. So if you want to come by for that, I know a couple of other members are in here as well. So I'm just letting you guys know. It's at, I don't know, probably 8 or 8:30. He says, Stella and Baddog, I'm an Eagles fan. You know that I feel stupid. You were right. I feel stupid. Also, if you eat mayo, Giants will win the Super Bowl. I hate mayonnaise myself, but if it meant that the Giants were going to win the Super Bowl, if I knew they were going to win, I'd eat it.
I ain't eating it. I've seen 4 Super Bowls. I'm not eating that disgusting congealed lard. It is gross. No.
I'm with you. I hate mayo myself, but if it meant the Giants were going to win a Super Bowl, I'm eating the whole jar.
I'll say this: if it meant the Giants win a Super Bowl, like when I go to like a Wendy's or something, I wouldn't ask them to take the mayo off my burger. That's the best I can do for you. Leave the mayo on. That's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. They can leave a mayo on my burger, but it's just so gross. I don't know how anybody can eat that.
I hate mayo myself. I hate mayo.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Dire Giants fan says if Barkley runs for 1,400 yards, catches for 900, and signs to brings us to an NFC Championship game, what are you doing? If you're trading, what's your limit to where you say no? It's tough to say until we're in that position. But Dire, what I've said consistently, me personally, Baddog may have his own opinion. If Barkley elevates the team to that type of level, I'm bringing him back. If I feel like the team's not that good without him, I'm bringing him back. And obviously the general manager at the time, which will probably be Dave Gettleman. And the other thing I'm going to say is Dave Gettleman drafted this guy at number 2 overall. Yeah, but he didn't draft Odell Beckham. He drafted Barkley number 2.
I know, but that was Tish and Mara.
I agree. It was more Mara influenced. I will agree.
Yeah, I mean, Dire Giants fan, if he has that kind of year, and you could get 2 firsts, or you could get a first, if you could get what you got for Odell Beckham, a mid-first round pick, a third-round pick, and a former first-round pick. I'm trying to. I can't think of anybody offhand, like an edge rusher or somebody, or a former number 1 wide pick. A position that we need. I would do it.
Yeah.
But it'd have to be a lot, though. Obviously, if he has that kind of year, the trade value for Barkley would be astronomical.
Yeah, I at that point, I'd be shocked if we traded him. If he had that kind of year and we went to an NFC Championship game, I would be surprised. But
then you'd also have to pay him a lot more.
Let's get to the NFC Championship game first.
Yeah, let's worry about it.
Yeah.
But Dire Johnson is the freaking man, if I haven't said that a million times. Yeah.
Shavant, man, thank you very much. He says, stand up, but also AD and LBJ not playing, I guess, in the preseason game.
It don't matter. I have to do it anyway. It doesn't matter if they play or not.
And Deception says, stand up, New York Giants fans. Do you feel like we will have more schemes for Mckinney this week, or more snaps, I think you meant to say? Maybe a little bit. I mean, he doubled his snaps from week 1. He went from 3 to 6. Right. I think they'll slowly start to integrate him in. I still don't think. Listen, Baddog, we talk about it all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right now, this New York Giants defense is playing as good as anybody.
Yep.
So I completely understand the strategy of not trying to force McKinney into the lineup. But I mean, right now we're in a playoff race. As much as I want to see McKinney get out there, it's working right now. So I understand bringing him along slowly. It's kind of a luxury that we have that we don't have to force him into the lineup.
I agree. And that's the thing. You can sit there and wait for, next year. Let him have a full preseason under his belt, some preseason games, and get acclimated to the system. Right now, you're getting his feet wet. Logan Ryan's playing lights out. There's no reason to play Mckinney a lot.
Yeah, exactly. They are. I don't think they're rushing him, Alvin. If they were rushing him, he would have been out there. He would have had more than 3 snaps after the bye. I think they're taking their time with him. He's not playing much. Stand up, G-Man Sportsman. Thank you so much, man, for becoming a member of the channel. Really appreciate that, man. Dire Giants, man. Thank you so much. Says, I know Mac to the Bears got crazy value. I'm trading him. Well, yeah, if you get that kind of value, I mean, didn't Mac get like multiple first-round picks?
First rounds.
Yeah, I don't think Barkley. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think a running back's going to warrant that. Maybe I'm wrong. Teams would know they'd have to pay him a huge contract. Yeah, if I'm getting multiple first-round picks, yeah, I'd be open to it. But I honestly don't think you'd get that for a running back. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I've seen crazier things happen. But thank you to everybody for being here. I appreciate it, man. I like the idea of McKinney blitzing. Yeah, Wompback. I mean, blitzing, and even more importantly, I think he could be used potentially as a spy, especially against a team like this, the Arizona Cardinals with Kyler Murray. You could use him in that type of role. You need a player like that to spy the quarterback. But the Giants did a great job last week, Baddog, of containing Wilson. So I don't think they're going to force him in. He'll get some reps, but I don't think he's going to get that many snaps this week.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be a difference maker this year.
Yeah,
like I said, let him have a complete offseason to get ready for next year. And again, you just kind of get him out there. Like I said, you get his feet wet. You let him have some moments. You let him get the feel. And then you bring him back next. Like I said, Logan Ryan is probably going to get a lot of money. There's no reason to sign him. That's why they drafted McKinney. Logan Ryan's only here because McKinney got hurt. If McKinney didn't get hurt, we wouldn't even have Logan Ryan here. So
yeah,
that's we're gonna pay someone else. We're not gonna pay Logan Ryan.
Yeah. And John, man, thank you so much, man. Stand up, the entertainer. You're the best. Also, since Peterson has to go, that relationship is over with him and Wentz. What coach should the Eagles go for?
Peterson's staying there. He's not going anywhere.
I talked about this earlier, and Peterson, in my opinion, should be fired. I don't think he's a good head coach, but it may actually be in their best interest for him not to be fired, in my opinion, because you look at the Giants situation in 2018, which you were kind of comparing their current situation to. I think because the Giants had such a poor situation, it handicapped them and the potential head coaches that they could bring in. I don't think Sherman was their first, second, probably even third choice, but teams didn't want to inherit that situation with a 37-year-old quarterback and everything else. Well, there's probably not a much worse situation out there right now than the Philadelphia Eagles. At least if you wait another year, it'll clear up some cap space and make it more attractive of an option for a head coach coming in. Right now, you're being forced, Carson Wentz, and the way he's played, there's not a lot of coaches that are going to rush to that situation right now, Baddog.
I told you everything I need to tell you about the Eagles earlier in the stream. You guys are trash. You guys have bad contracts. You draft really poorly. You're in trouble for the next 3 to 4 years, and you better hope that you get a GM like we had in Dave Gettleman that get the hell out of it. Because if you don't get somebody that can turn it around, it's not going to happen quick. You can't just go out and buy people. You can't just dump contracts. That's why cap hits are there. So you can't just trade Carson Wentz and take whatever that cap hit is. I saw $56 million on Spot Track or whatever, and they were
Sport Track, yeah,
right, Sport Track. So they were saying that 56 million, but then I heard 34, whatever it is. His cap hit the next 2 years is $60 million. You're not trading Wentz; he's there. Why they drafted Jalen Hurts, I don't understand. You're going to get a good look at him. You're going to see he's not good, and then you're going to say, "Now what the hell do we do?" That's what's going to happen. He's a bit. Listen, Baker Mayfield. He's having a decent year, but he's obviously struggled. He had a pretty good rookie year, but he's had his ups and downs. He hasn't been lights out. Kyler Murray's different because Kyler Murray can run. So Kyler Murray's had, a decent year this year, but he's fallen off. Again, he's had his ups and downs. Well, I can tell you this. Jalen Hurts isn't close to the caliber of quarterbacks Baker Mayfield nor Kyler Murray is. Not close. And I'm saying this as a Sooners fan that watched them play every game. So reason that Nick Saban went with Tua over Jalen Hurts is the reason Jalen Hurts transferred to Oklahoma. He's not those guys. He will never be a good NFL quarterback. He'll be a nice gimmick quarterback. You think he's Taysom Hill. He's not. He can't block. He can't catch. He's not playing special teams. Jalen Hurts is a gimmick running back and quarterback. Or gimmick quarterback that can run. And he's slow. His release is slow. His feet are slow. He's not good.
No.
You're going to find that out. Playing the Saints, you're going to find it out.
I agree. It's probably the worst team that they could debut him against. The Saints are really good.
They got one of the best defenses in the league.
I think it's going to get sloppy. Asia, thank you. Asia, thank you so much. You're way too much, Asia. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $5 donation.
Yeah.
King26 Reyes says, dang, didn't know y'all were live. What do you think is key to – yeah, normally we do Friday, but tonight we did Thursday. But we'll be back probably Friday next week, depending on schedules. He says, dang, didn't know y'all were live. What do you think is the key to beat the Cardinals, and who needs to step up the most? It's the same key every week, especially with this team. We know our identity. It's don't turn the football over. It's run the ball effectively. It's keep that defense fresh, win the time of possession, and set up your quarterback for, whether it's Jones or whether it's McCoy. I think we're leaning that it'll be Jones. Set him up for good situations, kind of like they've done the last 3 or 4 weeks. As far as Murray goes, I mean, do what we did last week. Keep him in the pocket. Don't allow him to kill you with his legs, and limit big plays. It's what we did last week. We did a great job in that area. I think we'll do a good job establishing the run and stopping the run, at least with the running back. I worry about Murray a little bit with the legs. But the way the Giants were able to do that last week with Wilson, they have to duplicate that. Now, Murray's definitely a different animal when it comes to running, but he's been banged up a little bit. So maybe he won't be the same quarterback in that area as well. But that's it, man. You got to keep him in the pocket, and you got to limit the big plays on defense.
Blitz him. Go right after him. Make a quick decision. He's not – I said this, he's way more athletic than Russell Wilson. Not nearly the quarterback Russell Wilson is yet. He could get to that level. Kyler's got that kind of talent. I mean, I said I'm the biggest Kyler fan you're going to meet, but if you're going to beat him, you have to blitz him. You have to go right after him. You cannot sit there and let him take off. He's very, very dangerous with his legs. Yeah. Pop him. You got to make him. You got to make him think twice about leaving the pocket. You got to hit him and hit him hard like they hit Russell Wilson. It's got to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And Asia, thank you so much again. Thank you very much. Michael Sack says, better defense right now, Saints or the Giants? I'd probably still go with the Saints. The Saints, to me, might have the best.
Saints. They got one of the best.
Yeah, they might have the best 53-man. They might have the best 53-man roster in the sport. The Chiefs
because they got rid of Eli Apple, and that helped.
Yeah. The Chiefs have the best team. But the Saints may have the best 53-man roster. So.
The Saints defense is really good. I would say they're better than the Giants.
Yeah. The Saints are really good. Clocks, man, thank you very much, man. Bro, the rant I had with Thomas. He was my pick. I'm just so worried how soft he is with pass protection. Running, he's a stud. Listen, his pass protection was fantastic the last couple of weeks. He's only getting better there. And I understand we don't want to get carried away. We don't want to get too optimistic. But I think since Judge has stepped in, you look at these highlights, Clocks. I don't know if you've gotten to watch the game film. I go on Bobby Skinner's channel. I watch it on Twitter. Number of people post highlights, the game film, what he's done. He's throwing people to the ground. I mean, this guy's getting physical. He's knocking people on their ass. Andrew Thomas is the real deal. He's starting to grow. He's starting to become that left tackle that I think we all envisioned. I'm not too worried about him. I think he's going to be a really good tackle for us, Baddog.
I have no doubt. I mean, I did when he first came in the league. But, again, I'm not with the team. So – I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. And again, listen, I'm not a guy that breaks down film. So I look at like hand placement, hip hips, whatever. I'm trying to think of the word. Hip swivel. I look at hand placement, feet, that type of thing. I remember Andrew Thomas was getting killed on the inside moves all year and getting his quarterback murdered. And I'm like, what the hell is this? So I just don't think he can play at the NFL level. Some of these guys are really good at college, but then you're going against NFL linemen and NFL pass rushers, and it's a much different game. I thought maybe he couldn't do it. Didn't realize that he started to turn around because Colombo started to get out of the picture. And that's why things turn around. Joe Judge said, we don't need you here. We don't need you. Our line is way better because Joe Judge got involved. Yeah. So Andrew Thomas, I guarantee you, Joe Judge is pretty much forget everything Colombo taught you. Do what you did at Georgia. Be the guy. And he is.
Yeah. We even said it the first week, Baddog, against Pittsburgh. I remember. Not with Thomas specifically, but the offensive line in general. We were like, this is too much. This is too complex. They're asking Gates to come over and pull here and this. And and you might be right. They just dummied it down maybe, and they're getting back to the basics, and that's why they're playing. But I don't know. It is whatever they're doing, it's working. And Andrew Thomas looks like a different offensive lineman. The Juice Alert. Juice is awesome, man. I always talk to him on Twitter. He's got a YouTube channel. Go over there, check him out. Big Packers fan. One thing we definitely agree on is Aaron Rodgers. I don't think we agree here on the New York Giants. I just previewed what you had to say. Jones is a below-average quarterback that can't hold Murray's jockstrap. Joe Judge is doing a good job. Saquon coming back in 2021. I would say right now Murray's obviously the better quarterback. I'm not going to debate you on that. Judge is doing a great job. Saquon coming back will be huge if he's completely healthy. I agree. Definitely adds another dynamic. In terms of being a below-average quarterback, I mean, the way he's played the last 3 weeks has not been a below-average quarterback for the year. I can't argue there. He's had 8 touchdowns, 9 picks, and the first half of the season he didn't look good. But he's a young quarterback that's getting progressively better, and I am confident by next year when he has another year in this scheme, and the offense has another year in this scheme, he's going to look above average or at a bare minimum average. And really with the team that we're developing, Bad Dog, that's what we need to win football games. Don't turn the ball over. Make plays when they need to be made. And I think Daniel Jones could do that.
Yeah, that's what Colt McCoy did last week. That's what Colt McCoy did when he took over in Cincinnati. He just made the throws he had to make. He wasn't great, but made the throws he had to make. Juice, you know I'm a huge Kyler Murray fan. I'm not going to argue with you, but I will say that you also said Dwayne Haskins was better than Daniel Jones, that Dwayne Haskins was going to be an absolute stud. So obviously that was incorrect, sir. But I love Juice Alert. He's the freaking man. You guys haven't checked out his channel, please do so, because he makes great content, very underrated.
He's got a great channel.
Yeah, very underrated video maker, Juice.
Yeah,
you were wrong about Haskins. He stinks.
He was dead wrong.
He might be worse than Sam Darnold. I'm finally getting Jets fans to agree. Henry David came. I don't know if that was.
I saw that.
That was the Cowboy game. He said I was right.
Nah, you
just admit that I'm right. I don't know why he just doesn't come out. He did a video talking about Doug Peterson going to the Jets. I'm like, why would you even put that into the universe? Don't ever say that. I mean, if the Jet, it'd be the totally Jet thing to do. Bring it to Doug Peterson.
God, you don't want Doug Peterson. I know he won a Super Bowl. You don't want Doug Peterson.
Draft Trevor Lawrence, take Eric Bieniemy, become good again, Jets. That's where you start. Take Trevor Lawrence and get Bieniemy, and then you're on your way.
Yeah, and they got the draft capital to build that team up real quick, and the cap space. Asia, thank you so much. I thank you. I can't really say much more. You're incredible. Thank you. Dan B, man, thank you very much. Late to the stream. Thanks YouTube for no notifications. But how much better is Peppers than Collins? Dan B, do me a favor, and everybody, if one of my mods in the chat could post this, because sometimes I don't always post it in my community notes, and not everybody knows about the community notes. If you follow me on Twitter, Dan B, I don't know if you have a Twitter. If you don't have one, create one. You can follow me. You can follow Bad Dog. But if my mods could post my Twitter link, it's at @Entertainer, DA-Entertainer85. Every time I'm going live, I post it on there 2 or 3 hours ahead of time. So if you don't get notifications, you'll see it there. He says, thanks. But how much better is Peppers than Collins? Peppers is, in terms of coverage, it's not even close. Some of the plays that he's made the last couple weeks have been fantastic. He's better. He's much better. Now, in fairness, he does have a better defense than Collins had after really that 2016 season, which definitely exposed Collins a bit in terms of being a coverage safety. And he was a good in-the-box player. But, yes, I mean, he's definitely more versatile. He could definitely do more things. Pepper's a better safety.
I mean, Salt is a better safety. I mean, it really don't matter. Collins sucks, and he's always sucked. So there you go. Yeah, Peppers is better. McKinney's better. McKinney hasn't played played 9 snaps in he's better. The hell with Landon Collins. $84 million for that bum. I did feel bad when he got hurt, though. I'm not gonna lie. He was actually having a really, really good game. I was streaming that one. He was killing it. He was having a really good game, right? He said, I got to give him credit, man. He had he forced a fumble for a touchdown or a safety. Then he had a really nice he covered CeeDee Lamb really well, made a really nice tackle. I'm like, damn, Landon Collins came out there and then he tore his Achilles or whatever it was. So I actually felt bad. I mean, I'm going to sit down. Landon Collins talked a lot of crap about this team, so of course I have a problem with him, and I was never a big fan anyway. But I don't want to see anybody get hurt. That always sucks.
Of course. You never want to see injuries. Max Webster, man, thank you very much. Rams win 24-3. Cam Bench, Pats. Yeah, the Pats, well, I obviously didn't watch the game. I'm doing the stream, but I didn't have any interest in that game. The Pats actually I think they won 2 or 3 in a row coming into that. They beat
wherever they played last week. They beat them 45-0. And
they beat Arizona, I think, the week before that.
Yeah. They're just very up and down.
Very up and down. And the Rams are good. You know, people ask me one team I don't want to see in the wild card round. It's the Rams. The Rams scare me. McVay's a good coach. They're kind of like us, only probably more advanced. They're a grinded out football team. We saw it when we played them. They don't make a lot of mistakes. They got a really good head coach. They're a good team. Don't sleep on the Rams this year in the playoffs. I could easily see them beating a team like Green Bay. They're a good football team, the Rams.
They are. And Dire Giants fan, as always, thank you for posting a link to my channel in the chat. I always appreciate that, my good.
We're going to be there live for the game. Go check it out, guys. Go
yes,
check
we'll be there live on Sunday, 15 minutes beforehand. And again, much like Chris, I don't usually put it on Twitter because it automatically goes to Twitter, but I always put it, I shouldn't even say it. I put it in my community notes. I usually mention it a bunch of times, but always I put it on Instagram. I always put, because people seem to find me more on Instagram than Twitter anyway. I always put my stuff on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's simple. It's Baddog Sports, just like
I'll probably start doing the same thing on mine. That's a good idea.
I always put it on Instagram. So
yeah, it's a good
Instagram,
idea.
community notes, Twitter, because YouTube, you guys have seen the lack of notification views that I get. So it doesn't surprise me. That's just the way they go. But
yeah. And thank you so much, Dire Giants fan. Guys, can you please make a vid on the division's future? Be good to troll Eagles and Cowboys fans. Yeah, I think that's something. I'll definitely do that. Go ahead, Pedro.
I was just gonna say, off-season fodder, Dire Giants. Oh,
that's what I said. Yeah,
you don't need to worry about me. You know that's coming from me, especially these Eagles. Dire Giants. For the next few years, they're gonna hear me. They don't like it. I mean, Eagle speed. An Eagle fan came in and goes, "I hate seeing Bad Dog's confidence." They don't like that because I've had to deal with their crap for years. I'm not going to have to deal with it anymore. They're going to have to deal with mine, and they don't want to deal with mine because when I can now trash talking when my team is absolute utter trash, when we're good and they're not, and we start kicking their ass every week, they're going to leave YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
Nothing to do with me.
But as far as I go, that's something I'll wait till the offseason, Dire. Right now, I'm focused on week by week with the Giants, but I will do that. I'll probably do a video breaking down the cap situation for every team, talk about the future of the entire division, not just for 2021, but also, for the foreseeable future. I'll definitely do a video like that. Yeah, Stan, man, thank you very much.
He doesn't tell me stink, and then they're like, "Oh, you just hate me. Oh, cap space is good. I was a wizard." Oh, that was another one, by the way. Before 2019 started, video, Bad Dog, Eagles' window of opportunity is closing. You're going to be in cap hell for the next couple of years. And he got really bad cut. You don't know what you're talking about, Bad Dog. He's the salty hitter. You don't know this shit. Howard Roseman's and wins with the cap. Who's going to want? Yeah. Oh, he's good. Good draft. He was a good.
Stan, man, thank you very much, man. What happens if Jones returns and struggles? He plays the next week?
Yeah.
That's what happens. He's your starting quarterback.
You don't want Colt McCoy as your starter.
You're not benching him for Colt McCoy, and you know that the Jones haters and the Jones doubters, they were begging for McCoy to go out there and throw 3 touchdowns so they could point and say, "Oh, I told you so." You knew that was coming if he had a great game. But
I was just hoping he did that so we'd win.
Of course, but I'm saying the haters were like they were.
Yeah, haters.
Yeah,
there's just guys that they hated Eli. Me, like I said, I'm an equal opportunity hater, if you will. If you play bad, you're getting. I don't care how much.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, I love Sterling Shepard, right? I'm a Sooner guy. I love Shepard. When Shepard was playing bad, I ripped Shepard a new one. I always said the guy was disappointing me. He's not living up to where I thought he'd be. He's probably my favorite player on the Giants. If I had to pick one, it's probably him. And if he plays bad, I get on his case too. Nobody's safe for me. It's not like I just pick and choose my guys. Then when they play good, I give them credit. Evan Ingram makes a couple nice catches. I'm like, shit, that was a nice catch. Do that every time, Evan.
Here's the bottom line, Bad Dog. At this point in the season, we've got 5 wins. We're not drafting a quarterback next year. And Daniel Jones is your quarterback the rest of this year, and he's going to be your quarterback going into 2021. He can throw 10. He can throw 10 interceptions this week. He's starting the next week.
He doesn't. Let's hope he goes down. He throws 2 touchdowns, runs for another one, win this game 24-17 or whatever, and it's over.
Let's win the football game.
Let's go to 5th in a row. Let's go, baby.
Let's win the football game. Joe Anthony, man, thank you so much. Sup, boys? Do you think it would be worth investing more money into a better backup quarterback if Jones continues to miss a game? Yes.
To do that. There was an article I read. I thought about doing a video on, but I'm like, I don't want to do that right now. We're kind of in the middle of the season. But yeah, there's Jameis Winston would be a perfect guy as a backup, in my opinion. Josh Rosen, bring one of them guys in here.
I've said that I didn't even read the article, but I've been saying that for a few weeks now that this year I completely understood it because you had a young quarterback. You didn't want to screw with his confidence, kind of like what the Eagles did with Carson Wentz when they drafted a quarterback in the second round. I'm not talking about drafting a quarterback in the second round, but I am completely fine bringing in a guy with more experience, a guy that you could trust more to win football games. Yes, I've talked about Brissett. I think Brissett's a good fit. He's got experience with our quarterback coach. He's got experience with Judge. If he wants to come play for Judge and willing to take over that role, he's a guy that I'd be looking at, someone like that. It's all going to come down to cap space as well and opportunities for some of these quarterbacks on the open market. But yes, I do think as we're now becoming a team that we expect to make the playoffs going into the year, yeah, you want to have a guy that's more experienced as that backup quarterback.
Yep.
Yes. John, man, thank you very much. He says, I know you guys have beaten Washington twice. If they continue to play well, what realistic percentage do you give them winning the NFC East objectively?
Same as ours. Same as ours. They're the same team.
I'm going to say I think it's close to a 50-50 race right now, if I'm being honest. Because they play a little bit easier of a schedule. We have the tiebreaker. I'd favor us slightly, but I give Washington a very realistic chance to win this division. I'm not taking them lightly. They have a good football team. Right now, they're a good football team.
Like I said, to me, it's same as ours. They have the same chance we do. We are very similar teams. The only difference going forward is Alex Smith ain't their future quarterback for the next 10 years. Daniel Jones may not be ours either, but we have a young guy that's starting a quarterback. They don't. They have a guy that's been in the league for 15 years, coming off a major leg surgery. But he's good. I mean, listen, a lot of people forget that Washington was 6-3 the year that Alex Smith got hurt. So Alex Smith is a smart player, and I've always compared Daniel Jones to Alex Smith, and I say if he becomes a rich man's Alex Smith, which I think is ceiling, he's going to be a very good quarterback. Alex Smith ain't going to throw 447 yards and 14. He's not Pat Mahomes. He's not Rodgers. He's not Breeze. But you know what he is? He's smart. He's cerebral. He makes good decisions, and they win. He wins.
Yeah.
That's what I want for Daniel Jones. I don't give a damn. I'm not a player guy. I don't play fantasy football. Don't give a damn about the statistics. The only statistic I care about is W's. Give me a W.
That's all I care about. I don't care how many yards he throws.
I'd rather win ugly than lose pretty any day. The day Eli Manning threw 6 touchdowns in New Orleans without throwing an interception, and we lost 52-49. Who gives a damn how good Eli played? We lost.
The greatest play. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say it wasn't his fault, but I'd rather Eli throw for 147, a touchdown, 4 interceptions, than we win the game ugly.
The greatest play, a lot of people say in terms of athleticism, was the Odell Beckham catch. We lost the football game. I give me a win any day of the week. I like you said, I'd much rather win ugly than lose pretty. Asia, thank you so much, Asia. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much for being such a great supporter on the channel. Thank you very much. Clock says, bro, I don't like Dog. He doesn't like me. But one thing I will say is, I wish you saw LT. My God, it's just like so sick. Dog and I share that. I mean, I've seen LT. I've watched game film. I've watched old Giants games. I didn't see it live, but I saw LT. Yeah, I'm not your age. I didn't get to see him live, but I saw the impact LT made on football games. I'm a Giants fan. I've watched back at old film. The guy played on another level. Offenses didn't know what to do. He's the greatest defensive player who ever lived, and we're never going to have another player like him. We're not. We're just not.
You'll never see another player like Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
As far as not liking you, I don't know why. I know why you don't like me, because you come to my channel, you try to criticize me, and instead of being a soft ass baby like some people just back off. Ooh, I don't. I punch back. I bite back. So if you're gonna come at me and you don't like that I come back at you, that's your problem. I don't just go and attack you. I don't do that to anybody. But if you come at me, you're getting a response. Because I don't play that. I'm not a guy that about this crap. I don't.
I'm the same way. I'm going to be respectful. I'm not going to curse.
I'm not going to be respectful. I'm going to embarrass you.
But I'll come at you. You come at me.
Like the guy when I posted my Instagram picture today, and he said, "Get some earbuds." The 20th century. Number one, it's the 21st century. But he said, "I said, listen, I'm in the gym pushing almost 800 pounds in a sled for 12 reps, and this guy worried about freaking headphones." It's just embarrassing somebody. Don't mess with me. I don't mess with anybody, but you mess with me. I'm a dog, baby. I bite. That's just how it goes.
Diehard Giants fan, man. Thank you very much. Blake Martinez was my favorite. Quarterback of the defense. Okay. Logan Ryan did well with him out. Player-wise, no doubt that defensive line helps a crap. The defensive line is ridiculous. And, that came out today, Diehard Giants fan, that if Martinez is forced to miss it, Ryan's going to be the mic. Even though he's a safety, he's going to be the mic for that defense. And that's another thing. People talk about, letting Dalvin go, letting Logan Ryan go. You're talking about letting leaders of this great defense go the way that we're performing right now. We've been a great defense. Logan Ryan might as well have a captain's badge. Dalvin Tomlinson does. Dalvin Tomlinson is up for the Man of the Year award for the Giants. He's definitely a leader in that locker room. He's a good player. I don't think they're going to let these guys go. They might let Ryan go because, like we say, I don't think Dalvin's going. I think they're going to keep Dalvin. I think they're going to keep that defensive line intact because that's the biggest strength of this defense. But, yeah, Logan Ryan has been huge for this football team, both on the field and off it. He's one of the best leaders on this team.
The Giants defense as a whole has just gotten a lot better. And again, I mean, this is what they said at the beginning of the year. Joe Judge said, we want guys that we can teach. We want guys that we can teach. They brought in smart football players. And that was one thing you heard from every draft pick. He's smart. He's smart. He's a smart player. He's smart. Darnay Holmes, he graduated in 3 years. He's smart. Cam Brown, he's smart. Carter Coughlin, he's smart. You heard that about every player they drafted.
Every coach, too. Every coach.
That's what I'm saying. So they're drafting smart players. Blake Martinez is a smart player. And Chris mentioned this a long time ago, that Blake Martinez, a lot of people didn't like him. I think both Chris and I were kind of lukewarm on it. We weren't like really against him, but we're kind of like, eh. A lot of Packer fans said he's lazy. Most of his tackles come downfield. But Chris made a good point. When Patrick Graham was a linebackers coach, Blake Martinez played a lot better. So obviously reuniting them, he's familiar with Patrick Graham. He's played a lot better. And yes, I agree. I think he's a quarterback of the defense. Was he out? He played, didn't he?
He got hurt. He got hurt in game last week.
Right.
He missed like the last quarter.
He was like a back tweak or something.
He might not play this week. He's limited in practice. He might not play this week. So we'll see. Hopefully he does.
That's right. We got the baby backers, baby. We got Cam Brown, Carter Coughlin, and Tay Crowder. We just fine.
We get it.
Those guys made it, and don't forget about Nico Lalos.
Nico Lalos.
David Mayo's a forgotten man now.
We find ways to get it done. I mean, Patrick Graham finds ways to get it done with the players that Dave Gettleman brought in. Ahmad the GOAT, man, thank you very much. I love this channel. Let's go Giants. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Let's go Giants is right. Let's go out there and let's get another W this week. Tuto, the Paisan. What's going on, my man? He says, Brilly, my Italian family. Tuto, man, I really appreciate it.
Ciao. What's going on, man?
Tuto, man, what's going on, my man? Thank you so much, man, for all the support on the channel. Always tuning into my videos. Next up, we've got Abrar. Abrar says, can't wait for the game, man. I'm so hyped. Dude, that's all. I haven't been able to. I say to Bad Dog every time before we go live, I can't sleep. I've been getting very little sleep all week, Bad Dog, because all I think about is the game. And all I think about is the winning ways of the New York Giants right now. I'm fired up.
That's me every night of my life, so I'm used to it.
I
always say 5:30 comes early when you get up for work. 5:30 comes early in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. But Abrar, man, thank you very much. And Roldy, what's going on, my man? What up, fellas? Hate when the media all of a sudden wants to talk about us. Hopefully, Judge keeps our guys humble. Roldy, I kind of agree with that sentiment. I'm a fan. I'm not part of the media. I get amped up when they're playing well. And I think that this is a good football team at this point. I'm not telling you we're great, but I agree with you. The Giants play their best when the media doubts them. So I understand your sentiment. You're like, I want the media to keep bashing us. But to be fair, Vegas has us still as an underdog. They got us as plus 2.5. I don't think the media is completely bought in. You saw articles come out this week that said Seattle lost it. The Giants didn't win it. Some of the media is definitely flipping, but not all of it.
Like I said, I was surprised to hear Shannon Sharp give him credit. But like I said, earlier in we're still we're a home dog. Just beat Seattle with our backup quarterback in Seattle. Get no love. Just shut down that offense. Completely shut him down. He did nothing.
Yeah.
And, with a backup with Colt McCoy.
I don't want respect.
90 yards against one of the best rushing defenses in the league.
I don't want respect.
Backup quarterback. Nobody loves it.
We love being that underdog. I want to be kept being doubted by the mainstream media.
I'm a dog. I know all about dogs, baby. We underdogs good.
John Laterno.
We were underdogs in 11. Let them out. We'll
Let him do it.
Football games.
John says, entertain.
I'll go and get that. I'm sorry.
He says, entertaining Bad Dog. I hate to agree about the state of my team. When you guys destroy us Eagles fans right now, can you all spare me? Thanks. Love you. Well, ain't nobody getting spared. We're coming at you guys this offseason. There's no doubt about it.
I'm not going.
Not you specifically, but the Eagles.
The content creator is going to get an earful, though. I already have a list. I already have a hit list. I went after them anyway, even when we were bad. Nothing stops me. Nothing stops me. Well, I was just going to say, Chris, it's been a long time. And I even felt, listen, I predicted us to beat Seattle with Colt McCoy. It's been a long time since we've won into football games, and I truly believe we're going to win. Sure, I could say that with my heart, back in the day, I feel like we can win. That's the reason I feel like we can win the game. I feel like we can win the game. Now I'm going in feeling like I know we can win the game. We can win. We will win the game. I feel like we're going to beat Arizona too.
Yeah, well, my preview videos used to be like, if we do this, and this, we can win. Like if we're able to do all these things that may not be super realistic. Now, like you, I'm going in with the mindset of more so if we don't screw up, we're gonna win. Like I think we match up well with Arizona. I think we should beat Arizona. That's my honest opinion. So I'm with you. There's a completely different mindset by this New York Giants fan base, and I love it. It's nice for once since I've been on YouTube to go into a game and saying, yeah, we should beat a pretty good team.
That's right.
Sure. And I feel that going into this game.
I know too. Emil, just real quick. He says, Baddog, you're my guy, will always be, even though we kind of listen, we're not always going to agree on everything. I'm fine. People don't have to agree with me. I'm not going to get mad at somebody because they don't agree with me. It's when they're disrespectful. And I say this all the time. There is no difference between me on camera and me in real life. You disrespect me, I'm going to have a problem. It's just the way I was raised, man. That's just how it is because I respect everybody. I don't ever give anybody a reason to say anything to me. You don't like my video, that's one thing. I mean, I'm just speaking my opinion, but that's fine. You don't have to like them, but to disrespect me, I don't play that. I don't play that. I'm a grown ass man. Mark Holmes, I'm a grown ass man.
That's Philly 500's video. I'm a grown ass man.
Mark Holmes, I'm a grown ass man. But we're going to disagree. Definitely. I don't want you to agree with everything I say. That's no
I say the same thing. Roldy always comes, I always tell Roldy. I remember Roldy coming to one of my streams one time. He said, Chris, I don't agree with you a lot of times. I said, Roldy, good. I want you to have your own opinion. I want everybody to have your own opinion.
We rarely ever agree.
That's what it's about. That's what makes it fun, man. And Dire Giants fan, man, thank you very much, man. Want to know every week. I'm pumped. Love the mentality, man. Dire Giants fan, man. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that, man. And I'm with you, man. Each and every week I go into at least believing that we can win. And Asia, I can't pull up the super sticker on here because it just says super sticker, but I'll read it. She says, you are amazing. Thank you so much, Asia. I really appreciate all the love and generosity. Thank you very much. Let's see. Rudy, my man Rudy. He says, folks, like and follow both. Let's go, New York Giants. And my mods can post Bad Dogs link below. Please do so. Go and show them some love.
Go.
Rudy, I'm going to go and send you that hat tomorrow, by the way. You and another guy. I'm going to get both you guys on Instagram before my stream tomorrow. So that's coming tomorrow. I'm going to reach out to you after the stream. But Rudy, man, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it, buddy. Next up. Amid. He says, what's up, fellas? It's bird hunting season. LOL. Murray is coming to the Lions Den. Let's go blue. The drive for 5.
Damn right. The Lions Den, baby. I said it. Leo the Lion. Kyler Murray's the gazelle. We know what Lions do to gazelles. It's hard to catch those little sons of bitches, but when you get them, they going down.
We're clipping
wings, man. Have a couple of freaking meals in that backfield. Let's go.
We're clipping wings, man, Doug. We're clipping wings. It's one bird at a time. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. John says, Cards barely beat us last year, 27-21, when we had a horrible D. Now Kyler is playing a much improved defense who smashes opponent in the mouth. Let's go, Giants. Not only that, John, he's going up against a team that could run the football and can control the clock. Now, granted, they have a better offense, too. Let's be fair. He's a more advanced quarterback. They got DeAndre Hopkins. But I think we match up well with them. I really do, John. I really do.
Is also healthy, so they got 2 running backs that are healthy. And honestly, we lost 27-21, but if Rosas makes the damn field goal, the game could have been much different.
And I'm Nick Gianni. Thank you so much. He says, I love the channels, fellas. New here, but lifelong Giants fan. If Washington somehow pulls off the division, what are we in for throughout next season, given usual circumstances? All right. First off, thank you very much. And you said channel, so I assume you know what Bad Dog is. If you don't, going over there, subscribe. My mods will be dropping it throughout the show, and we'll be doing the play-by-play over there this week. As far as if Washington somehow pulls up the division, what are we in for throughout next season, given usual circumstances? I'm assuming you mean in terms of roster and what the New York Giants are going to do. Listen,
season, the OTAs. I think he's just talking about off season.
I think you have a good football team on your hands, man. I really do. Now, Washington may have a good football team too, but the other thing, Bad Dog, is they may have a new quarterback. They may be drafting a new quarterback. It may take a year for them to rebuild. If they do that, we'll have to wait and see. If they make the playoffs, they probably won't. They'll probably go with Smith for another year and build up the rest of that team and start the well, they could bring in a quarterback via free agency too. So we don't know what Washington's going to look like. But as far as the Giants look like, they're going to continue to grow. I mean, this was a huge year of growth. That's what this year was always about, and they've shown a lot of it. So I think they're going to continue to grow. You're going to see these younger players get more acclimated to the schemes that they play in, both on the offensive and defensive side of the football. Joe Judge is only going to grow as a head coach. Daniel Jones should only grow as a quarterback. We'll bring in a couple of impact players on offense and defense. And, Bad Dog and myself, I know you're new. We've been saying now for 2 years that 2021 was going to be the year where we really expected to be a 9 or 10 win football team going into the year. And that's the expectations that I'm going to have. They're also playing a much less challenging schedule next year. They're not playing the AFC North, who might be the best
AFC
division.
West. That's not easy either.
But outside of the Chiefs, who scares you in that division?
The Chargers will be tough. I mean, the Raiders.
Are the Chargers really going to be tough? I know Herbert's played well, but he's only got 2 wins.
I know,
the Raiders
are not pushovers. The Raiders are not a pushover.
Okay.
They got a good running game. They got a good offensive line. Waller's a nightmare.
They're beatable. They're
beatable, but they're good. I mean, it's not like that's a cakewalk division.
They're not a cakewalk. The Broncos aren't that good.
Right, we should murder the Broncos.
The South, the Falcons don't scare me. The Carolina Panthers don't scare me.
The Saints. Nobody's scared.
And the Saints won't have Breeze. They may be going through a new quarterback. So,
but
they're good. But the Saints are very good. But regardless, we're not playing as challenging of a schedule. Going into next,
we might get a first place schedule.
Yeah. But we're definitely going to be a more advanced team.
Right,
definitely going to be more advanced.
The Packers and whoever wins the NFC West.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. I did not. Let me get Nikki. Nikki's awesome, man. Always reaches out to me on Twitter. He's been on the channel before. Last year, you screamed happy birthday for me on my birthday during the live stream. Today, I'm 21. Can I get another one? Waking up on my birthday in first. Happy birthday, Nick, man. Thank you so much, man, for everything you always do to my channel. You're great. You're always sending me the private message on Twitter, too. Keep me informed about the football team. Can never say thank you enough for that, man. Nikki, actually, Bad Dog, I don't know if you're aware of this, is neighbors with Saquon Barkley. He's not. I don't know if they're next door neighbors, but his mother made cookies for Saquon Barkley when he was rehabbing at home.
Yeah, I do remember him saying that, and I didn't know that was him on. I think that was on Twitter today when he said, because I think I said December 10th, Giants at first place, whatever. He said today's my 21st birthday, so that must have been Nikki. And as I said, 21st, go get yourself some of these. And of course, I put the beer emoji there. I don't have a beer for you, Nikki, because I'm having. Chris just went off. He'll be back. I'll hold it down until he gets back. He'll come back. This happens. He's got some pretty crappy internet there, but it's okay. Get yourself a beer, man. I haven't drank in 4 weeks. I'm not going to drink. That's one thing. No drinking during the Giant streams. Sorry. Can't drink during the Giant streams. There he is.
I don't know why it pops me off every now and again. I don't know why it does that. So
yeah.
I apologize about that, Bad Dog. Left you there for a minute.
That's all right. I took care of it just fine. I got my first rodeo, man.
New York for Life says this chat has a collective IQ of a cold room. What's going on in the chat? What am I missing? New York for Life. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for all the support. Emil says, we got this. Let's go, G-Men. Listen, man, 1 week at a time, man. I think we're gonna win this game. I really do. And hopefully they don't let me down, but I do believe that going in. BMAG says best ability is availability. DJ got to stop getting hurt. Love your channels. I don't even need cable because Tane and Bad Dog bringing that content. BMAX, man, thank you so much.
Appreciate it, buddy.
And I agree with him, by the way. This is a somewhat growing concern because this is now the second year where Jones has gone down with an injury, albeit, last year he only missed 2 weeks. This year, hopefully it's only 1 week, but that's something that concerns you, but it's not that abnormal. I think as Giants fans, we grew accustomed to never having a quarterback get hurt. That's an abnormality. Right. You don't think that year in and year out, but by the same token, you also don't expect your quarterback to get hurt every year. So hopefully this is not a pattern.
Right.
But I think a major part of that is Jones has to learn how to slide, Bad Dog.
Yeah, I know. I thought he did slide. Things happen, man. It's his legs. He got stronger legs. You says before, your muscles get bigger. You have more of a tendency to pull them. Not that he tore his ACL, but I swear to God, that is why players tear their ACLs. There's too much weight on their tendons. You start adding all that muscle. Your tendons do not get stronger. Tendons get weaker as you get older. They dry out and they get weaker. They do not get stronger. You'll see. I had my buddy tape the things I do for my legs. Again, it's not the whole workout. I'm actually going to put that up. I don't know if I'll do it tonight. It's going to be late. But I actually have that. So you'll see when I'm pushing all that weight in the sled that I actually keep my hands on my knees. because I'm spotting my knees. Because when you're pushing that much weight, you better support your damn knees. You're going to get hurt. Because my tendons are old, man. I'm almost 45 years old. My tendons are not getting stronger. They get weaker. That's why you can't jump as high. That's why you can't run as fast. That's why you're not as agile, as flexible, because your tendons dry out. When you add a lot of muscle on your tendons, a lot of pressure on that, man. Those guys are ridiculous athletes. Those guys are, top 1,000th% of genetics.
Yeah.
But that's what happens to your Achilles. Those are tendons. It's a lot of pressure you're putting on your tendons, not to mention all that weight, but then you're cutting, you're juking, jiving, jumping, whatever. A lot of times they're not meant to go the way they do. That's why there's so many years. And it's not just, that's why that happens.
That's been my theory with baseball. I know we always turn to baseball a little bit in our conversations, but a lot of pitchers, in recent history in baseball, obviously Tommy John has almost become a rite of passage if you're a major league pitcher. And that's always been my theory, is that all the muscles are tighter because they work out much more than they used to. And I think with these guys being as muscular as they are and as much as they work out, I think in some ways it actually creates more injuries. And maybe that did have something to do with it. We all saw calf muscles and everything else, but it is what it is.
Well, that's the thing. You didn't see this years ago because the working out wasn't a huge part of what they did. It wasn't. Look at a baseball player look at some of the best baseball players. Look at Dale Murphy. I mean, he wasn't jacked. Yeah. They're strong, but they weren't built like they were today. That started with the PEDs in the 90s.
Yeah,
and that's part of the reason these guys. Listen, I don't care what they say. These guys are on some stuff. Some of these guys, and once you start doing that, you build more muscle than your body is supposed to hold. That's when you really hurt yourself. So all these steroid guys in the gym, they tear their pecs, they tear their biceps, they tear stuff because that's too much. Your body can only naturally hold so much. It's not supposed to hold more than that. Your genetics let you get so far. Yeah. So that happens to a lot of people. Yeah. It does. It's too much weight on your tendons.
Yeah. Albat says Smith gets cleated and the sports world stops. Yeah, he's talking about Alex Smith when he was bleeding on his ankle. And Al, man, thank you so much for the support. Yeah, everybody in my stream was going crazy when that happened too. Obviously he's coming back from a very serious injury, so people, were probably nervous because of that. But yeah, everybody was going nuts when his ankle started bleeding because he got cleated.
Right.
Nick Gianni, man, thank you very much. Do you guys think the Giants keep everything in place, coaches, players, etc.? As much as they can, Nick, at the end of the day, it's a business. You look at the Patriots, and I only say them because they're the perfect model. The Patriots let players go all the time because they know that it doesn't fit their cap. They know that they're not going to be in the long-term plans of this football team. The Giants have to think long-term as well. They can't just think about 2021. They can't sign all these guys to 3- and 4-year deals because they know they're going to have to tie money up with the guys like Daniel Jones, Dexter Lawrence, and whoever else they may want to keep here long-term. So I don't know. My answer to that is I don't know. I think a lot of it's going to depend on the interest that they get on the outside market. I think Leonard Williams will probably be our focal point. He's been huge for this football team. Dalvin Tomlinson has expressed that he wants to come back, even willing to take a discount. In terms of the coaching staff, listen, Baddog, that's part of what comes with being a good team. I know we're not used to it, but when you're good, not that we're good yet, but we're improving, teams look to your coaching staff and they start to pick guys off of it. That's how they get head coaching positions. Yep. So it may happen. That's just a part of it. And I hope that it happens because that means the Giants are playing well. I hope that we lose coaches over the next 3 or 4 years because that means we're a good football team.
Yeah. How many assistants did Bill Belichick lose over the years? Lots. Yeah. None of them were successful outside. Even in Judge, he's a Belichick disciple. So, that's when you're winning football games. They want your assistants because obviously if your OCs, your OC or DC, if their units are playing well, you're winning football games. They want that. They want that over there. They want those guys to be head coaches. Why wouldn't you? So yeah, you're not going to see Adam Gase get a job anytime soon. Ben McAdoo didn't get any damn job. That's not going to happen. So yeah, I hope that the coordinators stay here for another year. Spagnuolo did. I remember we thought we'd lose Spagnuolo in 2007. We didn't. He came back the next year. He was there for a couple of years. He was definitely a guy that everybody wanted in 2008 because we won the Super Bowl and the defense was crazy.
And he took a job way too soon with the Rams. He ended up losing that job real quick. He took the wrong job. But yeah, I don't want anybody to think from what I said that I'm rooting for Graham to lose his job this year. My point is as the Giants get good, that comes with it. You're going to lose coaches. That the best teams lose their coaches. I mean, we took one from a good team. Joe Judge with the Patriots. That's just the way it works. Tired Giants fan, man. Thank you so much, man. Some young developing brains like to insult other opinions and think theirs are facts. Tank for who, et cetera, et cetera. Those who insult first are insecure. Listen, I'm always open to listen to everybody. I'm always going to give you my opinion. When I give it, it's going to be strong. I am not, I was completely against that, especially 2 weeks in. I didn't understand it at all. But you know what? Everybody has a right to their opinion. That's the way I always look at it. But yeah, when I present mine, I'm going to come with it. And I was very much against that, dire Giants fan, especially 2 weeks into a season. I honestly thought it was ridiculous. So
listen. After week 3, I was ready for Trevor Lawrence, and I don't lie about nothing. I'm freaking human. So I told you, I say this every time. I'm not a damn analyst. Everybody on YouTube wants to be an analyst. I don't. I'm a fan. That's what you get with me. I'm a fan. I'm not breaking down film. I'm not talking about what could be in 4 weeks. I'm talking about what I see now. So, yeah, my temperature, I told you, I'm an EKG machine every week. After 3 weeks, I said, this team is going in the tank. This team stinks. We just got crushed by San Francisco's 3rd and 4th string guys. This team's done. So if I wasn't saying I wanted us to lose, though. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like I want to lose the rest of our games. But I was like, if we're going to be really bad again, I was saying if we were going to be drafting first, then I wanted Trevor Lawrence. But I wasn't saying I want to lose the next 13 games either. I wasn't like tank for Lawrence. But I was like, if we're picking that early, I want Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Yeah. Well, I think if we were picking first, that's probably what would have happened. But I never thought that was going to happen.
We're not picking first. We're going to finish first. That's
I sure hope so. I don't know how to pronounce this, but I'll just say Pione says, imagine the derpy one. Oh, there you go. The derpy one. He says, imagine if we took Josh Allen at 6 and DJ at 17, we'd be a worse team right now because Josh Allen's hurt. Dexter Lawrence is better than Josh Allen right now because Josh Allen's hurt. DJ
wouldn't have made it.
He wouldn't have made it. Washington was going to take him at 15. We would have had to trade up.
We would have ended up with Haskins.
Yeah, probably. Or we wouldn't have taken a quarterback, depending, or maybe we would have taken Locke. Reports came out after the fact that Shermer liked Locke. But, yeah, I mean, we can't live in the past. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I wanted Josh Allen. It's working. Right now we're rebuilding. We're going in the right direction. Josh Allen's hurt. Dexter Lawrence, it's not like he's a bag of shells. He's really good. Yeah. So it's working out right now.
Thank you, Odell Beckham. Dire Giants fan, I know it wasn't directed at us, but I say it all the time. I have very strong opinions, but if I'm wrong, I'll admit. I have no problem going, I was wrong about that. I have no problem. I don't know why people can't just admit they're wrong. I didn't say that. Or they make an excuse. Who cares? Freaking human. We're all wrong. Everybody. Nobody's perfect.
People make mistakes, and you know that when we do, people rush to our old videos to point it out.
I get it. Well, I'll tell you what. There's been people rushing to my old videos saying, "Wow, this aged well."
Yeah, well,
my favorite one is Instagram. Well, I mean, I've had a couple of really good ones. The Beckham one's my favorite. Saying that he was going to Cleveland in 2018, that was freaking good. But one of my favorite this year is definitely, obviously, I love that. I said we were the best in the division. We were 1-6, but I like the picture of Leonard Williams on Instagram, and I told Russell Wilson, "You're gonna get a good look at his face, Russell. You're gonna see it all day." That's what happened. I like that one best.
That's a good one. Yeah. John says,
and I love him too. He's probably my favorite player, right with Deshaun Watson. But he's an enemy.
He's an enemy.
I'm going now, Russell. I don't care, but last week, nah.
John says, do you think Saquon Barkley accepts the same money as CMC if offered? Well, first off, he's not getting offered that. Since Saquon Barkley already makes a lot of money from endorsements, or do you think he is about the money over winning? John, first off, he's got to earn that money. He hasn't earned it yet. He's hurt again. We don't know if he's going to be the same player when he comes back. He has to prove that. And the cap's going down next year, or at least by all accounts it is. We don't know for sure. And who knows what it'll be in 2022 rather. But, we got to see him produce. We got to see him play well. Do I think he'll take – listen, it's a business. And I don't blame players for getting what they can, what they feel like they're worth. I don't blame them, especially at the running back position. I got to be fair. You know what I'm saying? Running back position, you die out quick. Teams use and abuse you. And if Barkley feels like he's worth a certain amount of money and he earns it, I don't blame him for trying to get what he could get. But right now, I'm not worried about it because right now he's not worthy of a contract extension. He has to prove he's healthy. He has to prove he's the same player. And he has to prove that he could carry this football team.
Yeah. Hey, listen, man. The Cowboys ran DeMarco Murray into the turf and let him walk to the Eagles, and he had nothing when he was there. It's usually what teams do. They will if they're gonna trade the running backs or not sign them, they will usually just run them right into the ground. They will use them for like perfect example was Milwaukee Brewers when they traded for CeCe Sabathia one year. They used him like every third day to get in the playoffs, knowing they weren't going to sign him. So whoever comes in next. Same thing with the Cubs. Joe Madden left Aroldis Chapman in there till his arm was hanging off by a thread, saying, "Well, he's not coming back here next year, so that's next year's problem. I'm trying to win now." Almost cost them, but that's the same thing with the running back. If a team's not going to sign him, what are they saving him for?
Yeah, and talking about a running back that's been run into the ground. Real Reality asks, "Is Zeke already washed?" Listen, I don't get to watch every Cowboy game. The last Cowboy game I watched, he actually looked pretty good. It was the game that I called with you. But he's definitely not the same running back. I'll tell you that right now. And some of it definitely has to do with the offensive line. I mean, this guy had an unbelievable offensive line to run behind his entire career. It's definitely regressed a little bit this year, a lot. So that has something to do with it. But no, I don't think Zeke's the same running back as he was when he went, even when he signed that contract extension.
He's got a lot of miles in his legs. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, outside of 2017 when he got suspended for 6 games, I'm pretty sure for at least 2 or 3 years that he led the league in carries. So, I mean, there's a lot of mileage on him. I was actually surprised in the contract they did. Running backs don't get they don't get faster when they get older. So I was surprised he got that money. I would much rather sign Dak Prescott than Ezekiel Elliott if I'm the Cowboys. You know, it'd be kind of funny. Can you imagine if Dak went to Washington?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. They got the cap space. They've shown the willingness to do it before. But in the end, I think the Cowboys pay him. I think they look at what happened this year, and I think it only actually helped Dak's value. In the end, I think they're going to pay him, and I want them to.
But they have no defense, Chris. How are they going to get defense? You pay Dak Prescott.
I want them to.
I do too. I said give Dak all that money.
Like, yes, in the short term, it makes them a better team with him than without him. But long term, it'll keep them in mediocrity. And that's what I want. I don't want them to be a great football team. And I think by paying Dak $35-40 million, they have too many holes on that defense. That offensive line is getting worse. I want them to pay Dak. Pay the man.
Pay him.
Pay him. Yeah. And Nick, man, thank you so much. Sack City this weekend, boys. Sack City. That's right, Nick, man. Let's get after him, man. Last week we had 5 sacks. We've got 35 on the year. Listen to these numbers, by the way, Baddog. We now keep in mind we don't have an elite edge rush. We say it all the time. We rank 8th in the league in sacks. We rank 1st in the league in knockdown percentage. We rank 6th in the league in pressure percentage. We've created the 3rd most turnovers in football, and we've jumped from -17 in the turnover differential last year to +3 this year. The turnaround has been astronomical.
Don't forget, we're top 5. We're top 5 in the league against the rush.
Top 5. Well, yeah, we were kind of that last year too. I think we were 6 or 7, but we're +5.
No, they were 6 or 7 yards per carry against.
Is that what it was? Okay, is that what it was?
5 against the rush, period. And yards per carry and all that other stuff. But yeah, rushing yards against. They are top 5. It's a damn good team, man.
They've been incredible. The defense is
damn good.
The defense has been damn good. Al, man, thank you so much, man. There is not a better quarterback draft in the last 3 years than DJ. Look at the stats.
I got to go Kyler.
I think you could go Kyler there, Al.
I got to go Kyler.
And I'm not even a huge Kyler guy. I think he puts up stats, but I'm not in love with Kyler. But I'd have to put Kyler above him. I mean, after that, you could definitely say
touchdowns. Stats or no stats. There's a lot of damn touchdowns.
Yeah, and I mean Josh Allen. Josh Allen's having an MVP type. Not that he's the MVP, but he's in the discussion. He has got, I think, 26 touchdowns, 8 picks. I can't put him above him either. He made the playoffs last year.
Lamar Jackson's another one.
Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I can't. I can't. Al, I love you. I can't agree with that statement, Al. I love you.
Yeah, I love you. I mean, we all know that, but
yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, when we say that, hopefully, Al, like next year, we can say that. That's what I'm talking about.
But again, I think we could still win with him. I definitely think we could win with him. Dire Giants fan, man. Imagine the Eagles sign Hurts. Well, they already signed him. He's on a rookie deal. But he's got 3 more years left on it, and who knows where that's going, man. I mean,
it ain't going anywhere. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the we'll call the Giants game. Obviously, on my channel, we'll get the win. We'll be feeling good about it, and then I'm going to sit back and I'm going to watch the Saints roll the Eagles. Me good stuff.
Oh, that's at 4:20. Yeah. The Washington plays at 4 also, right?
When does Washington?
Because that's the more important game.
They must. But I think
they,
the Eagles and Saints are the national game of the week.
Yeah, that sucks. Because I'd rather watch the Washington game because that means a lot more to us than the Eagles.
Yeah, I still like watching the Eagles get the holy hell beat. I can always put just ESPN on my phone or NFL or whatever and just watch the play-by-play go by.
Yeah.
I'll sit back and enjoy watching Taysom Hill and company, Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas and all those guys do the thing.
I do have Red Zone, Chris, so that's probably what I will watch because I will want to keep updates with Washington. I do have Red Zone, Chris. I'm assuming you. Yeah, I know you do. Every time before we go live, you're watching Red Zone a lot of the times. Maybe Herbert and Burrow. Yeah, it's too early to say those two, but yeah, Herbert's definitely trending in the right direction. Albert Breer said he thinks Dave Gettleman will move to advisory role, and the Titans director of player personnel is a strong candidate for the GM job. We'll take it 1 week at a time, man. Who knows? Who knows? Nikki Sav, man, thank you very much. Baddog, you the man. I love Jabril. You went to your high school. Jabril Pepper's been fantastic, man. Nikki, man, thank you so much.
Man. And Nikki, how can I be the man when you're the
man? Let's see what we got here. You old silly. I'll post stats. Al says.
I mean, Daniel Jones has what? 32 touchdowns and 21 picks.
And keep in mind, and I'm not trying to bash DJ. I like the progression of DJ. Last year he lost 11 fumbles too.
Yeah,
I mean, I got to be fair.
Kyler Murray has as many touchdowns this year as Daniel Jones has passing touchdowns. I don't know. I mean, I can't. I want Daniel Jones to be better, but I can't say that he's better than Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, or Lamar Jackson. I can't put him there yet. If he would have had a breakout year this year, and he would have had like 21 touchdowns and 7 picks, I could have got on board. But he's got more interceptions than touchdowns. It's hard for me to say he's better than Kyler Murray, but Kyler Murray has 4 times as many touchdowns as him. You know, it's just difficult for me. I want him to be better than those guys.
Yeah.
I can't put him there yet. That's all.
He's got to earn it. Dire Giants fan, man. Thank you very much, man. I'll always enjoy watching the Eagles lose. So will I.
Well, he's down there in Eagle country, so it means more to him.
Means a lot to us too. I think we hate the Eagles a lot.
Yeah, well, as Cop Hizzle said in that party stream, there's probably nobody on YouTube that hates the Eagles more than Baddog. He's right. It probably isn't.
I'll tell you this right now. I always say I'm about equal in terms of how much I love my teams. Giants, Mets, Knicks. By far, the team I hate the most is the Eagles, and it's not even close. Cannot stand the Eagles. They've given me some of the worst moments of my life as a sports fan. Mike, man, thank you very much, man. If you were a GM, would you prioritize re-signing BJ, Dalvin, and Leonard Williams over Barkley? Would you trade Barkley if it gave you space to keep all three and get an edge rusher? I'm going to go back to what I've said all stream. I don't think we're going to be able to trade Saquon Barkley this year. I just don't. I would be shocked. I'd be shocked. And if we were, you wouldn't get near what you'd be hoping for. Like if you're willing to give up Barkley for a 3rd round pick, okay. But you're not gonna. Maybe you get a second. You're not getting a first for him. Coming off an injury like this, making what he's making. So I'm not just trading him to give him away. So I just don't think Barkley's in the cards this year in terms of being a possible trade. I just don't.
Well, again, I don't think they're trading this year. But to answer your question, Mike, I did a video on this already. I mean, I said that the Giants should listen to trade offers about Barkley. If the Giants aren't going to pay him, then get something for him. You know, they let a couple of guys walk, and people had a fit about it. They let Landon Collins walk, and they got a compensatory pick. I don't think they were getting much more for him anyway. But to me, yeah, if they don't plan on re-signing Barkley, then if you can only get a 2nd round pick, then you get something better than the compensatory pick you get for letting him walk. That's going to be what the Giants decide to do. If it's me, again, if I don't care if it's unpopular, to me, we're proving we can win without Saquon Barkley. We've won 4 straight. We've run the ball on the ground over 100 yards, 7 straight games. You don't need him. Sure, he's fun to watch. The guy is an amazing talent. But I'll take 2nd and 6 all day over 1, 2, -3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 87. I'll take that consistent ground and pound all day. And when these games ugly, then have Saquon Barkley break a big one now and again, and paying him a ton of money. I just think it depends on what the Giants want. If it's up to me, though, no, I think you can win. I think
I'm not saying you can't win without him. I just don't think this is the offseason. If you're going to trade him, I don't think it'll be this offseason.
No, I'm just saying if the Giants don't plan on trading him.
Yeah, I talk about it all the time.
But he's saying if you were the GM, if I was the GM, yeah, I could definitely see what's out there. And if I don't plan on signing him, yeah, I trade him. I said Odell Beckham. I said, don't matter how good you are. I wanted Odell Beckham out here because we weren't winning with him. And I said we have so many holes. We need that money to put elsewhere. And obviously we got one of the best safeties in football. He's a former first-round pick. We got Dexter Lawrence out of that. We got O'Shane Ximines. Unfortunately, Ximines hasn't done much. But the Giants won that trade. There's no doubt about that. And they're going in the right direction. Without a wide receiver. So, and without a running back, really? So
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I do not think this offseason is the bridge.
That's my.
I
don't know what the Giants are going to do. He was asking.
Yeah.
You were the GM.
Yeah. If I was the GM, I wouldn't trade him this offseason because I look at it like the stock market. Right now, his stock's at an all-time low. I don't trade players when they're at an all-time low.
I don't know if he was saying this offseason. I don't know when he was talking.
Yeah. Well, I think he meant this offseason because he was talking about bringing back guys like Leonard Williams and Dalvin Tomlinson. They're free agents.
They are, yes.
Yeah, so I know I wouldn't trade him this offseason. I think that's what bad teams do. You don't trade players when they're at an all-time low. If my plan was to trade him, I would hope he bounces back this year and then trade him in the next offseason. That would be my mindset if I was the GM.
More value for him, that's for sure.
If my plan was to trade him, I would hope he comes back, plays a great season, and then trade him up a good season. Caesar, man, thank you very much, man. Download to Dofu Sports on your phone. All games are free. Well, all right, there you go. I'll have to check that out, man. Thank you very much, buddy. Roldy says, Baddog, thoughts about my comments on your Williams contract video? And Chris, every team is different, so we don't know how other teams will look like. In reference to what, Roldy? Next year, you mean? Or just the schedule? But go ahead, Baddog.
I mean, Roldy, I understand your point. I say that right in the video, that I'm worried. I want guys that are in it to win it. I don't want guys that play for contracts and then get their money and they slack. It worries me. I don't know how Leonard Williams is going to be. I think Leonard Williams is enjoying playing football. I think that he likes the team he's on. I think that he likes playing for Joe Judge, and I think that it's showing. I know that there's always massive incentive when these guys are on a free agent when they're ready to be a free agent. I understand that. That's a worry to me. There's no doubt about it. But you got to – that's why they interview these guys. I think they want to get a feel for how they are. And I agree. This is the best year he's had. It's not close. And it's a contract season. And those concerns are definitely they're legit. They're absolutely legit. All I'm saying is he's been our best, most consistent defensive player. Even when he was here last year, you could see the defensive line got a lot better against the run with him here, even though he didn't get a sack. I just like what he brings to this team. And I think that he's a leader. And I think with the way he's played, you got to think about it. I mean, maybe somebody offers him more. I said in the video, I don't want to pay him $20 million a year. If you can get him for 17 for 4, if you can give him 4 years, $65 million, 4 years, $68 million, I can do that. I don't want to give him 4 years, $84 million. 5 years, $100 million. I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Rolly, I get your concern. I have the same concerns.
Yeah, I'd be willing to overpay on a shorter contract. I'd be willing to go maybe 19 or 20 on a 3-year deal, especially if I can get out after 2. If things go south, he gets hurt. But if I got to commit to a 4-year deal, I'm not giving him more than $17 million a year. So that's my mindset on Leonard Williams. As far as every team's different, I agree with that, Rolly. But no matter what, my expectations going into next year with a more advanced team and a more mature team is going to be we should win at least 9 or 10 games next year. I don't really care what our schedule is. To be honest with you, I think we're going to be a good football team.
We're beating teams like Seattle this year. Should have beat Tampa Bay. We're in the game against the Steelers.
Not to mention we still play in the NFC East, Baddog, and I think we're going to be I think going in, and I have to see how the offseason plays out. But if you ask me today, we're going to be just as good as anybody in the division next year.
I agree. And Washington will be there with us, but we always play well against them. But I think we'll be better than Dallas and Philadelphia next year.
Yeah. So I mean, it's too early to speculate, but. Right now, my mindset is I'm very optimistic going into next year.
It's great. We can talk about next season, but right now, this season's important.
This season's very
Normally,
important.
the last couple of years when we did this show, we'd be talking about the offseason because our season was over this time. It's just getting started, people. It's just getting started.
Yep. Dire Giants fan, man. Thank you very much. I have a front row seat to the Eagles' malfunction. I love rubbing it in. They can't say crap. They're on the downhill, and they know it. They may not. Some Eagles fans may not be accepting it, but I think a lot do know it. I think
Deep
a lot
down
do know
inside, they know. Deep down inside, they know that everything Bad Dog told them last year is coming to fruition and that I was right, and that makes them even more mad. And I know it does, and that's why I love every freaking minute because they know what I said last year, what I've been saying this year. It's 100% correct. The fact that I bashed their team and told them they ain't any damn good and that they're going to get worse and that the Giants are going to get better, I like that.
Yeah.
Makes it even better.
John says, I think Barkley is going to pull a Brady and take a lower paycheck to help the team and stay on the team. I think he'll retire a Giant. I hope so, John. And I agree with that about Dave Gettleman. That's what I said earlier. That'd be great. I mean, if you have a player that buys in is willing to take less money, but I will not blame Barkley at all, especially at that position. It's different for Brady to do it. Brady's a guy that he's 43. Barkley's a guy whose shelf life kind of drops at 29, 30. So he only has one real opportunity to cash in on a gigantic contract. I can't blame him for going out there and trying to get as much money as he can.
Not to mention Brady's wife makes like $100 million a year. He don't need no damn money.
Yeah.
Brady's wife makes money in that family.
Max says Saquon Barkley is Chris' favorite player. Will never say that's not true, Max. He is my favorite player, but I can understand the philosophy of trading Saquon Barkley. This offseason is just not the time to do it. If the Giants, I said it. I'm going to say it right now, and I've said it. If Saquon Barkley does not elevate this football team next year, I'm going in with a 9 or 10 win expectation. If Saquon Barkley doesn't go out there and have 17, a huge year, similar statistically to his rookie year, and elevate this to a Super Bowl contending football team, I would look to trade him if the right deal was there. Because I don't know if I'd want to extend him. Because like Bad Dog says, and it's fair, you're tying up a lot of money into a running back when you have to pay your quarterback. For me to be willing to extend him long term, he has to elevate this football team. That's what he needs to do. And he needs to prove he can stay healthy. I understand both sides of it. And I'm not even close to being on the side of we need to extend this guy coming off of a major injury like this at the position that he plays. He needs to prove a lot to me before I'm willing to jump on that. I love Saquon Barkley. I vote for him for president. But I'm not going to just give him money to give him money. He's got to earn it. And he's got to prove his worth. So no. He's my favorite player, but I would trade him if in a certain circumstance.
Most importantly, he's got to play all 16 games next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Independent man, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate it. He says, you have to respect how the Giants coaching staff is bringing Xavier McKinney in, but I can't wait to see the guy really get going. Starter for sure. Yeah, well, he's definitely going to be a starter next year. He's going to be one of the most important players on our defense. We drafted him early second round. And there's no reason to rush him in. Our defense is playing great. We've got depth at that position. And I like what the Giants are doing. If it was a lost season, we were 2-9 right now, I'd say get him in there. But right now, the team's playing well. There's no need to rush him in. He's coming off an injury. I like the approach that the New York Giants are taking right now, independent outsider. I know Giants fans are anxious. I know they want to see him. He was the most anticipated rookie on this football team. But there's no need to rush him in right now. You're playing good on defense. Don't rock the boat right now. Don't change too much. You start to slowly integrate him in. I think that's the right approach. John, man, thank you very much. We're going to close this out in like 5 minutes. Went a little bit extra tonight. Thank you guys, by the way, for all the support. Like you guys are incredible. We'll say that at the end of the show. But thank you guys. Thank you to everybody for being here. If you haven't done so, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell. More importantly, going over to Bad Dog Sports. Subscribe over there. We do this each and every week. We'll be doing the show over there next week. We're doing the game there this week, and we'll be doing the game over here next week. John says,
game day, baby.
John says, yeah, but Barkley makes a ton of money on incentives and ads, etc. I don't think Gallman is in the plans for the long term, but I think we could find someone on draft. That's the other question going into this offseason. Gallman's been fantastic. He's a fan favorite, rightfully so. I mean, the guy's been absolutely huge for this football team. I think the offensive line has just as much to do with it as anything else, but he's running hard. He's running great. And that's a big question in the offseason. Is he going to be worth the money that he may command, with interest from other football teams, John? And we'll see. And John, I agree with you. I would not give him a 3 or 4 year commitment as great as he's played because I think this offensive line has a lot to do with it. You look at Alfred Morris. He's a senior citizen. He's running fairly effectively behind this offensive line, and I would sooner draft a running back than give him a long-term commitment. Now, if you can bring him back on a 2-year deal at a cost-effective rate, have at it. But I fear that a team's going to be willing to give Gallman some money because he's played well here, Bad Dog.
Right. Well, then why would you sign Barkley? Barkley's going to get a lot more than Wayne Gallman.
Like I said, Barkley's got to prove he's a difference maker. He's got to be on an elite level. He's got to have like Adrian Peterson type of an impact for me to entertain it. And right now, I'm not leaning on extending him. I got to see him come back healthy and play unbelievable. I think he can, but right. I got to see it.
Yeah, I mentioned all those running backs that were some of the greatest ever that never won anything. So, to me, like I said, I love him.
Here's my question to you, Beto. Let's play devil's advocate. You said you loved the pick of Saquon Barkley on draft night, right?
I did.
Okay. So if you loved the pick of Saquon Barkley on draft night, that would mean going in, if you love a pick, that means you see him getting a second contract with your football team. So if that's your mindset, if he meets those expectations that you had going in, why were you in favor of it then, but you're not in favor of it now?
I was in favor.
And we're playing hypotheticals.
Yeah, I was in favor of it then because we were picking second and he was the best player available. We didn't trade back like I wanted to, and I was more ecstatic that we did not take Sam Darnold. I was scared we were going to take him, did not want Sam Darnold. I actually said the only quarterback I wanted was Baker Mayfield. But if you go back and look at the Odell Beckham video, when I talk about trading him to Cleveland, I say I would rather go out and get Bradley. I say trade back and end up with Bradley Chubb, Quentin Nelson, and get Sony Michel in the second round. So as much as I liked the pick of Barkley, I liked it because that was who was there at 2. But I actually would have preferred to get more players and get Sony Michel. That's really what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
that just wasn't available. But Chris, you know I've never been a Darnold guy.
Yeah,
I was scared they were taking him. That's why I liked the pick. If they took Quentin Nelson second, I mean, I wouldn't have been as high on it because you're getting an explosive running back. You're getting the best player in the draft. But I wouldn't have been upset with Quentin. I would have been happy with Quentin Nelson at 2. But that's why I loved the pick at 2, because I felt like that was who we were supposed to take it to. I did not want Darnold. I thought maybe going Quentin Nelson. I didn't know Quentin Nelson would be as good as he is, and I thought 2 was a little too soon for him. But that's why. And Nick Chubb was another guy I absolutely loved. So those are 2 guys I thought we could take in the second round. They didn't, and I like the Barkley pick, but also, $19 million a year, that's a lot of money for a
we'll worry about it when the time comes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now, it's not
always fun to talk about. Our minds are always working, Chris.
Sox in Arizona, man. Thank you very much, man. Locks, Arizona. Thanks for the nickname, Bad Dog. Absolute legends. You guys are dedicated to this team, and I'm here for it. Let's go, Splat Kyler. And he lived in Arizona.
Baby. Let's go.
He gets to see him play every week, man. Hopefully you get to see him get destroyed this week. Dire Giants fan, man, thank you very much. To be fair, I need to see a full 16-game season where DJ can win us games. I agree with that, too.
Makes complete sense.
Oh, just as much with him as Saquon Barkley. Quarterbacks are going to cost you even more money. He's got to prove himself. Right now, I think what DJ has proven is he's definitely worth seeing for another year in 2021, and we need to see growth before I'm willing to say he's definitely worthy of a second contract, rather. So I agree with you on that. I'm not fully bought into either player yet. For me, I'm also not conclusively saying that I wouldn't bring either one back on a second contract, but I need to see a lot of growth from both of them. So that's my mindset right now on both of them. But I understand the thought process in not paying a running back that kind of money. I mean, I'd be stupid if I told you I didn't understand it. So I definitely understand it. He has to prove but he needs to have a quarterback's type impact at the running back position. And there's been some running backs that have done that. Marshall Faulk, I say it all the time. I think he was more important to that Rams team than Kurt Warner was. And some people may disagree with that. He needs to have that type of influence on this offense. And if he does, then I entertain it. But he's got to do it. And when you're drafted second overall, that's what you expect. Roldy, man, thank you very much, man. Just because we drafted Barkley shouldn't justify a son. I agree, Roldy. I agree. He's got to prove he's worthy of it. I'm not telling you that it justifies it. But I'm still open to giving him the opportunity to proving that he could come back healthy and carry a football team. To get that kind of money, he has to prove he's carrying a football team. And to this point in his career, outside of his rookie year, he hasn't done that. And a lot of it has to do with injuries, and a lot of it has to do with the offensive line around him. We got him signed right now, Roldy. He's on his rookie deal. We might as well see what he could do with a really good offensive line next year and see what he could do for this football team. And then we'll take it in stride. We'll take it from there. That's my answer. I'm not looking to just, rush ahead to the future. Let's enjoy him while we have him. Let's enjoy Jones while we have him, and let's see what he can do with this team next year when he comes back from injury. That's my take on it. But Bad Dog, we're getting set to wrap this up. First off, I want to say thank you to Joe, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your guys' combined effort. Keep up the good work. Joe, man, thank you so much, man, for all love, all the appreciation. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys that always tune into our live streams. You guys are incredible. Thank you to each and every one of you guys that blow up our videos. You know, as soon as the notifications go out, you guys watch the video, you hit the thumbs up.
Or don't go out in my case, but somehow you find it. So I appreciate it.
Somehow you find it. So, I can't say thank you enough for everything that you guys do for us each and every week. Like Bad Dog says, I think this is our 105th episode. 103rd. This show always gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. We had almost 1,000 people in here tonight. And we weren't even on our regular night. You guys still showed up. We were going up against Thursday Night Football. You guys still showed up.
We're more entertaining than Thursday Night Football, baby. Let's go.
But thank you to everybody who always pops in and makes our channels what they are. Thank you for that. And I'll probably have a video up tomorrow. I know I will. I'll have the preview up tomorrow. So be sure to check that out. Bad Dog, say what you got to say, man. And once again, Bad Dog, thank you for coming on the channel.
Of course, as I say this all the time. I've said this for 102 episodes. The favorite thing I do on YouTube is do this show with you. I love the way it's grown. And I say it all the time. I was extremely proud to be a Giants fan because even when we were terrible, you guys are here and this show continued to grow. It continued to get bigger. The support continued to mount. I watch these other fan bases, guys that I watch on a regular basis from the Eagles and Cowboys, and they have very good content creators. And I see their numbers drop because their fan base does not have the loyalty to the Cowboys and Eagles the way we do. It's easy to come on here and make videos and do live streams and have fun when you're good. Well, we haven't been good for a long time. And like I said, you guys are amazing. Our channels are zero without you. We owe everything to you guys. Without you, there is no Bad Dog. There is no entertainers. You guys really inspire us to try to put out as much as we can. I said it every week. Just imagine how good it's going to be, how fun it's going to be, how big this could be when we're good. Well, don't look now. We're good. And we are going to win this freaking division. What does Jim Fossil say? Mark my words. This team is going to the playoffs. Let's go, Giants. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. Let's get this W on Sunday. Thank you guys for being here. You guys enjoy the rest. Well, enjoy your morning. It's past midnight now. Get some freaking sleep. A lot of you guys, you got stuff to do tomorrow. Get some rest. I'm not going to be able to fall asleep. I'm going to be thinking about Giants all night. But thank you to everybody for being here. Bad Dog, do what you do.
Guys, thank you for watching. If you want to come over and hang out, we got this guy coming back tomorrow. And definitely, you come over to my channel on Sunday. Let's watch the Giants whoop that Cardinal ass. The entertainment talking sports, the bad diggity dizzle. We are gone. Peace.